The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for the sake of His name. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for You are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd, I don't want for more. He lays me in green fields by the still shore. He brings my soul home when my path runs dry. He leads me, even if I lose my way. He knows my name. Even if the dark gets close, He stays the same. The Lord is my shepherd, I will not fear. He walks right beside me. He keeps me here. The Lord is my shepherd, my cup runs over. My cup runs over. Mercy in every step, grace on my shoulders. He leads me straight on the right road line for His own good name. He makes it shine when I walk through the valley of death's deep shade. I won't break down, I won't be afraid. You're with me, you're with me. Your rod, your staff, they steady my heart. When the night feels long, You light the dark. The Lord is my shepherd, I will not fear. He walks right beside me. He keeps me here. The Lord is my shepherd, my cup runs over. My cup runs over. Mercy in every step, grace on my shoulders. You set a table right in front of my foes. You anoint my head and You overflow. Goodness and mercy will follow me home all the days I breathe. I'm never alone, never beside me. He keeps me here. The Lord is my shepherd, my cup runs over. My cup runs over. Mercy in every step, grace on my shoulders.
Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. Don't you try to tell me I had it muted. Don't you do that. I did not have it muted. I didn't. Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. Hopefully, you're having a fantastic Wednesday. We got a good show planned for you today. Of course, you would be living under a rock, under the sea, in another solar system to not know about the Carmelo Anthony trial that was concluded on yesterday. And wherever you land on that, you probably have an opinion about it, right? You've heard all kinds of opinions about it. So tonight, we're just going to look at some people talking pertaining to it. People who think it was just, some people think it was unjust, some people think it was fair, some people think all around the spectrum. I just want to hear your thoughts pertaining to it and get your insight. So before we get too far afield, I want to say what's up to the best live chat on the internet. What's going on, Giselle? How are you? I see Kelly. I see you over there, number 2. I see you. This was going to be a good one, so I'm glad you're hanging out with us, Lisa. Thank you so much. Yeah, they cost that boy 35 years. Absolutely. I do believe that now. I don't know if it was necessarily intentional. We'll talk about it. Don't worry. We'll talk about it. I don't know if it's truly intentional or just like not having good, wise counsel. That's what I think really it is. Larry, what's going on, brother? Love you too, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I do appreciate it. There's Juju up in here. There she is. Hey, everybody. Hey to you. Texas mother in the house. How are you? I love it. Thank y'all so much, everybody who's popped in. There we go. How are you, Caleb? Good to see you, friend. Good to see you. Good morning from Florence, Kentucky. Florence, Kentucky in the building. Absolutely. Glad to have you. Thanks so much, Tanya. All right, we see all the kind of good people right there. Chrissy's in the house. She says, hey, y'all, what's happening? What's happening to you, love? I'm glad y'all like that lead video. Yo, shout out to lead attorney. Y'all know lead is the big homie. He's helped me out a lot personally, as well as helping me here on YouTube. So I owe a debt of gratitude to the lead attorney. And I watched that video this week. This morning I said, wow, this video is so spot on. If those people had listened to what lead attorney had told them to do, we probably would be in a different position right now. I'm going to go on a limb and say Carmelo Anthony would be in a different position right now if they had listened. So I'm glad you liked that video. Shout out for sure. There he is. President Not Perfect is in the building. Thank you so much. This is our little secret. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. All right. Yeah, I see some good. And I hear what they're saying. You know, some people saying it's not fair to the Metcalf family because of his age. I do think that a level of justice was metered out. And we can talk about it because we're definitely not here to re-adjudicate the case at all. We're just having water cooler talk about it. All right. It's 5. Where are you at? Oh, it's 5. Yeah, it's 5 p.m. Yes, you're correct. I said, wait, hold on. Where we at? But before I get too far afield, because I'll sit here and talk to y'all, but you know what? I got to bring my brother up in here. We got Kevin Briggins in the building. What's going on, Big Kev?
What's good, man? We had so much fun yesterday. It was like we might as well do it again.
Let's run it back, man. Let's run it back. All right, Kevin, give me your high overview of the Carmelo Anthony verdict and the sentence. Like, what is your overall? And by the way, before we get too far afield, just in case we got new guests in the house, who are you? I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. Kevin Briggins from the Center for Biblical Unity. I'm the managing director over there, and we are a ministry that helps Christians deal with tough worldview issues around race, unity, and justice from a biblical worldview. And so we deal a lot of the topics that you talk about on this show.
Facts.
And that's for your audience's knowledge. That's what I do. You know, it's a lot more than that, but that's what I do.
I love it. All right. Give me your high view of the Carmelo Anthony, the verdict and the sentence.
Yeah. I think for most people, the first one is probably in line with me of expected, right? Mm-hmm. We expected a guilty verdict. I mean, if anybody who paid attention to this case knew he wasn't going home. Now, on the second part, as the verdict is concerned, a lot of people might not be where I am, but that's about where I thought he would get. Okay. Given his age, I didn't think he was going to get life in prison for something that happened when he was 17, 18 years old. I just didn't see that being the case. But I also didn't see him getting like 15 or 20 years, because that's the kind of sentence you get when you take a plea deal, right?
Correct.
And so 35, 40 years, something like that, you figure he would get. He's going to have to do half of it. So he's going to be in prison at least 17 years, 17 and a half years. So yeah, to be expected for me, for both of these, the guilty verdict and what the sentencing came down. But I'm just glad that justice was served, that the internet did not win, the mob did not win, and kind of racial bias and narratives didn't play out. So
I like it. I like that. Okay. I can dig that. I can dig it. Well, what we're going to do, Kevin, I got quite a few. We're going to get going because we had quite a few clips of lawyers and newscasters and pontificators giving their 2 cents. So I want to hear what you have to say pertaining to them as well. So let's get this one in here. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Jason, can we do that? And there we can. All right. If you don't mind, my good people, green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Jury, they deliberated less than 3 hours and they came back with a guilty verdict. What does a deliberation that fast usually tell us?
Well, they pretty much had their minds made up. For me, I think that it came down to Karmelo Anthony not taking the stand, because this is a self-defense case. And a lot of times, just in my experience as being a lawyer, a lot of time the defendant needs to take the stand. It is their right not to, but jurors often want to hear from the defendant in his or her own words what happened. And there was a long delay yesterday, some 3 hours, and they thought that the defense was preparing Karmelo Anthony to take the stand, and he ended up not doing that. And they rested their case, which was surprising to me, because just following this, I'm not sure that they raised enough reasonable doubt about this being self-defense. I wasn't convinced. Like, I felt Karmelo needed to take the stand.
And to that point, the jury, though, they had 3 options, right? Not guilty, manslaughter was one of them, or murder. What does it mean that they skipped right past manslaughter?
I still feel like manslaughter fit more perfectly just off of what I've heard. And you have to take into account these were teenagers, 17 years old. Karmelo Anthony did not have a criminal record. It was a 3.8 GPA. I believe he was captain of the football team, track star. He was a good kid up until this point. So it seemed like it was more reckless. And because even his statements directly after the fact, this was a pocket knife, which it's being reported a 3-inch blade. I think the whole thing was 5 inches, and it was just one wound. He just reached out and stabbed one time. So it wasn't like he stabbed over and over and over and then fled. And even then, saying, is Austin going to be okay? To me, that doesn't sound like the words or the intent of somebody knowingly trying to kill somebody else. But it seemed to fit more the narrative of what potentially happened, where he might have been defending himself. Was it reckless? Yes. And it was with a knife. And it did end up causing Austin Metcalf to lose his life. But to me, it just didn't seem like that was the intention of Karmelo Anthony.
All right. All right. Kev, what you got, brother? What you got? That wasn't the intention, man. That was not the intention.
I get what he's saying on his manslaughter argument. I would say that the evidence kind of went towards, because manslaughter is like passion in the moment.
Right.
This, when you say he's the aggressor, and the fact that he put his hand in his bag and said, touch me and see what happens, that's premeditated. That's just murder at that point. You don't get the benefit of the doubt of manslaughter. Like, no. You knew what you were doing and were about to do, and you egged it on. Like, that's murder. Yeah, so I disagree with him on that. I do agree with the fact that Karmelo should have took the stand. He had the worst defense in the world. Yeah, what do you got to lose? How worse could it be?
I don't think. Well, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead and continue. And I wrote some notes. I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna tell you why I don't think he should have.
How much more damage could he have done? How much worse could he have made it? Because, as he said, to that point, they had not proved reasonable doubt that he wasn't guilty. And so, to me, it was a case of you don't want him to, but at that point, you got to realize you're in a Hail Mary situation, and you just got to hope that this Hail Mary works. I heard Officer Tatum talking about it, and he made a good point. He said, like, when you hear the testimony, you have an image in your head of what you think Karmelo sounded like when that, touch me and see what happens. Y'all some peas. No, F y'all. But if he can understand and he's quiet and he's timid and he was like, I told him to leave me alone. And he can change the whole perspective that the jury has of him, But instead, they're just going to go with their perception they have of him and who he is based on the testimony that other people have provided of his own actions instead of him being able to give a version of himself. And I just think that would have been better because, like I said, we sitting here looking like this dude going to jail. His lawyer sitting there had to be like, man, this dude going to jail. So not letting him testify, I don't know what you saved by not letting him testify.
I got you. The reason I disagree is because cross-examination. I would have asked him, why did you have the knife in your bag in the first place? Where was your hand while they were telling you the 15 times to get out of there? Your hand was in the bag. What were you doing with your hand in the bag? When did you open up the knife? Because it was it closed all the time? When did it open up? See, I feel like that would have only made it worse. Now, if
worse
there
than
was
35 years, I'm just saying.
I don't think, well, that's true. Like again, but I don't think it. Well, okay, it would have been 36 years then, but it wouldn't have been 28. I'm telling you right now. Even look at, I don't even know law. I'm a pre-K law student. I would have asked him questions that would have got him, because then we never did talk about like his GPA. You don't hear people talk about, did you ever get suspended? Have you there's a rumor that he had been suspended before for having a knife. All that stuff would have come into discussion.
True.
So
I did hear that argument.
Right.
Because so far his suspension was reported and then retracted
right.
Because he's a minor.
Yeah.
So it's like, was it retracted because it wasn't true, or was it retracted because he's a minor?
The school district won't hide it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So then you get on that stand and we say something like, you're the captain of the team. How do you become the captain of the team? Oh, you have to have a GPA like this. Oh, okay. And what other things do you need? You have to have good behavior and never suspended. Were you ever suspended? It would have been off the rails. And he would have fed it out there. Now, I do believe they thought about it. That's what that 2-hour, 3-hour delay was after lunch. I do think they tried it, but they realized like, we can't, you're going to mess this up. You're going to get up there and I'm not going to be able to rescue you.
They had a year to get this dude ready.
Well, I agree. I agree, but I don't think that. So I don't think he should have. To me, I think that was probably the right thing. But I heard other people, smart people, say he should have got on the stand for the same reason that you're saying. I don't disagree with you. I just think that if he could just get up there and talk and not be cross-examined, maybe that'd be it. But the cross-examination, I think, would have been brutal. It would have brought in so much more complexity and color to this conversation that I don't think they wanted.
This is what I would be my strategy. I'm like, look, man, you going to jail.
Is he just gonna tell him like that out the bat? Like you go to jail.
This is what the goal is, because they're gonna convict you.
Yeah.
Your goal is to get on that stand and be as sympathetic as possible. Right? So maybe you get a manslaughter charge, maybe you get a lesser sentence because they feel empathy for you. Your goal is to get up there and be timid and quiet and respectful and answer these questions like a respectful, nice young man, and hope that they have some empathy on you. Otherwise, you're going to prison either way.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I agree.
And I just didn't go to law school, so maybe that's dumb.
Right. Right. Well, when we do have a lawyer coming on, so if she comes through tonight, I will ask her those questions, and she's going to talk about it because she does believe that he should have taken a stand. So it'll be you two against me. But again, I think he should have played out. What's up, K-Dub in the building?
What's up?
I think he should have copped the plea early on. He should have said,
absolutely. Look, if he was offered a plea deal and then
shame on him.
Man,
yes.
Shame on his parents.
Shame on his parents, but no shame on a righteous perspective. Coming up in here, blessing us with 10. He says this: if a plea deal was offered, should have taken it. The people advising him and his family should have been fired a long time ago. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I did that video with lead attorney. I dropped that lead attorney video. I do believe now that his family let him down. And again, I'm not saying that, they were great parents. I'm not saying that they raised them right and all this stuff. No, in this situation, they did almost 100% the wrong things.
Yeah.
From hiring the activists to shunning the Metcalfs. Even I thought that they should have tried to build an olive branch to the Metcalfs. I said that a long time ago. When they kicked them out of the conference, I said, that was dumb. I said, that was just not a good move. But all that to say, it's almost they did 100% the wrong things. And this is where they sacrificed their son to it.
Hold on. So you trying to tell me that this is another case of black activists not having black people's best interests at heart?
No doubt, no question. There's no question, no doubt. I don't think they have anybody's best interest at heart. I don't think so. Because just the way they move. Like your goal can't be to better black people when black people are the main recipients of the negative things that your movement does. Yeah. It ain't hurting Asian people. It ain't hurting this group or that group. It's hurting black people. Black folk are suffering because of the dumbness of this Karmelo Anthony verdict. They could,
but it's good for business for the activists.
It's good, and some. You said good for business and threw me off. Shout out to Wise dropping 5 memberships as well. Yo, if you got a membership from Wise, please tell Wise thank you so much. We down here in the South. We want to be hospitable. Thank you so much for that, Wise. Appreciate you, brother. Blessing 5 people. We're gonna keep this game going. All right, Kevin, here we go. You know your cousins was outside the courthouse, man.
Whew.
They was outside that courthouse. Let's see. This one's short though. This one's short. It's not painful.
What is dumb, Michael? I'm sorry, Ted. This is just dumb. This is stupid. I can't believe that this jury came back in 3 hours with guilty. I'm totally stunned. On top of that, this judge as well, not letting cameras in the courtroom. I mean, good job. Good job, Your Honor. Really, really, really good job. You handled it really, really well. You have this community that's about to get lit on fire. You don't allow cameras to go into a courtroom. The community already believes that this kid is being railroaded. And then look at what happened. Your jury came back within 3 hours for a guilty verdict for a kid who used a 4-inch knife one time, didn't use it multiple times. Was it wrong? Yes. But was it murder like beyond a reasonable doubt? No. And was it murder beyond a reasonable doubt within 3 hours? Absolutely not. This is insane. This is dumb.
So, sorry about that. Kev, go ahead, man. Just go ahead, man.
I mean, they took 3 hours, man. I would have took about as long as it takes to make a cup of coffee and a sandwich.
Facts.
I'm like, do we need to talk about this?
I mean, yeah. Can we hurry up?
Who paid attention to this case knew this dude was going to prison and knew it was more than likely murder.
Right.
It was a long shot that they might come back with something lesser like a manslaughter. But when you look at the testimony, this is the part that I've been arguing with people. And when I say people, I mean us. People don't like evidence. People don't like facts. If you look at the evidence and say, okay, this is the charge. What is the evidence? I'm telling you, when people are testifying that he's the aggressor, that he's egging it on, that he has his hand in his bag, and he's making the threat, you're not going to get manslaughter out of that. And people create their own narratives in their head, and then they want the jury to rule on the narrative that they've created instead of the narrative that the facts have been laid out in court. And that's all the jury can go off of, right?
Absolutely.
It's what's been from, and this is what we're talking about. Eyewitnesses. This isn't hearsay rumor. Right. We're talking about eyewitnesses, and you're shocked they came back with a guilty verdict. Everybody testified like, yeah, that dude did it, and he said he did it.
Let me also just add to this one right here. The guy was, I don't know who the guy, he was on Court TV. By the way, every one of the clips that we're looking at today are listed down in the description of this video. So all the X tweets and our posts rather, all of the YouTube videos we're going to watch are all listed down in articles. They're all listed in the description. Jump on them, have fun, knock them out. But as if not having a camera in the courtroom, I think we needed to have a camera in the courtroom. I've said that. I understand why he chose not to have a camera in the courtroom. As if that's the reason. Oh, well, he got railroaded because he didn't have a camera in the courtroom. What? What are you doing, my dude?
As if the courtroom was empty. There were people in there. Carmelo's family's in there.
Absolutely.
The media is in there. It wasn't secretive.
Yeah, I mean, it was done. It was done in the corner over here, man. As Paul said, it wasn't done over in the corner. So I think, to your point, people get a narrative in their head. They want it to be true. They're going to roll with this narrative. We still hear the self-defense. He was getting beat up. I heard that today. I think we got a clip in here. Somebody told me he got beat up. Even though there was no evidence, no witness testimony, he was getting beat up. And I want to say they said both boys still. I think this person's still saying that Austin and his brother Hunter were beating up Karmelo. They're still saying that, even though nothing supports it. Go.
I wish I had a thought about it before now, but Charleston White called in Anton Daniels this morning, dude, and acted a straight fool about this case, saying the craziest stuff, man. I was like, is he high?
Well, I just want to interject something. Charleston White isn't acting a fool. There you go. I'm sorry. Like the fact that's another example. Like the family hitched their horse to Charleston White.
Yeah.
And somebody speak. Not. I mean, look. I would have respected them if they tapped TD Jakes, bro. I would have been more cool. I would have been better with them tapping TD Jakes to represent them. You know what I'm saying? Like to be the spokesperson. But I mean, they tapped the Dominique Alexander dude and Charleston White. I mean, how bad are you trying? Why don't you just go ahead and build the electric chair? Because you're going to put them in there at this point in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of TD Jakes, I saw somebody on social media say, wish them happy Pride Month.
You wild, bro. You wild, man. But you got my point,
yeah,
though. I would even be like, at least they got somebody.
It's a bad team. Like, this is the thing. Like, you're not trying.
Tony Evans. They could have got Tony Evans in.
You're not trying to win the hood. Right? And it's almost like that's what they went for. We're just trying to win black support. And look, that'll get you raised a lot of money. And don't get me started on the fact of how you raise that much money and then end up with a public defender. I don't know.
Well, hold on. I read, if I'm not mistaken, if I read yesterday, they actually have I think his last name is Wilson. He actually is a paid lawyer. They didn't have a public defender. He is a paid lawyer. Yeah. Okay. They put money toward it. I don't think they put all of their effort toward it and the things that they could have done pre and mid and, while the trial was going to help. Because again, if they had just accepted an olive branch from Metcalf, I think this whole thing could have easily been shifted
100%.
Just easily, just shifted in another direction.
But instead of going the let's humanize him route, they went the race card route. They went the activist route. They went the, the Al Sharpton Crump route. Yep. And it backfired. You in Frisco, Texas? That ain't gonna work. This ain't Minneapolis.
Right. But even more than that, like, what is your goal? No, I'm not saying anything necessarily is wrong with Tony Evans. I was just saying, I would rather they could have tapped Tony Evans to be their spokesperson because, people would give me grief about Jakes. I'm like, look, okay, fine. Tony Evans there. That's the only I can think of a black pastor in Texas. That was it. I have no problem with Tony Evans. But I didn't want to say like Kenneth Copeland because I do have a problem with Kenneth Copeland. But yeah, like instead of striving to salve this over and treat it like, you know what, our child took away somebody's life. Like, let's be like, it's almost like they didn't treat it seriously.
Well, all right, as a generation of parents, right, where their kid do something at school and they go up to the school and they attack the teachers and the principal because their kid didn't do nothing. Oh, well, they took that approach. My baby innocent. He ain't do nothing. Basically all the stuff you hear on the internet, that was almost like the parents' approach. Instead of saying, this is a bad situation, you admitted to the police officer that you did it. Like, we need to know what happened. Like, honestly. And come up with a decision that was wise. And one of the things would have been, and we've talked about it, is accept that olive branch. Humanize your son instead of trying to play the black angry family with the activists. That's just, it wasn't going to work. That game
wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. And look what it did. Like, again, I'm not trying to, like, y'all check that video out from Lead Attorney. He crushed it. I mean, it aged perfectly because he said this about 12 months ago. And I remember when he said it initially, I was like, whatever. But now I can tell you, they probably are looking at that like, I wish we had listened to this man. Because, I mean, it was right on the button. All right, let's keep this dance going. Real quick, I want to say thank you so much. My goodness, thank you, Wise. He says it's been good for the content creators and the race rifters. Thank you for the 10, brother. I appreciate you. And you are correct. You are correct. And then what does he say again? In The Wire, Slim Charles states, if we go to war on a lie, then we fight on that lie. That's some black folks right now. You know what?
Yeah.
That I don't even know what The Wire is, but that's right on the button. They're being ridiculous and they know it, but they don't care. I mean, lie. They don't. No lie detected. Thank you, Wise. Yes, there's a vertical stream and a landscape style stream, so you can watch on your phone, watch on your TV. You know, get in. Just make sure you hit the like button. Thank you so much, Michelle, for the 5. Yes, we do have 2 live streams. What's going on? Edie dropping memberships. Y'all, look at this. Edie coming up in here, blessing folk. Y'all go ahead. Make sure you say thank you. If you got a membership from Edie, tell her thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Edie, for extending that out to the folk. Now, what does Batwing say with the 20? My goodness, thank you so much. He says the court had to put a gag order out last year due to threats against the witnesses and journalists and the Metcalf family being swatted multiple times. Apparently, not recording that was most likely a safety call for everyone. And you know what? No argument for me. I don't remember the gag order, but I was just looking out for the children because we see what they were doing to the kids that were leaving from court yesterday. Did you see that?
No, what they do?
I think. Wait, hold on. I got the video. They were some witnesses. I don't say white people, but some white people were leaving from the court, and they were harassing them in the parking lot.
Wow.
Talking about you deserve to be deleted. You should be just like him. And of course, you can see their tags and stuff, and they're streaming them and filming them, so you can see that. I mean, to the point that you made, I totally get it. I understand it completely. All right, let's keep this dance rolling. Let's go. I think we're going. Yeah, here we go. This was a little bit longer.
There was an advocate for the family, the Anthony Karmelo's family, who spoke outside the courthouse after the verdict. And this is what he had to say. Take a listen.
He shouldn't have said nothing.
What this process did is shown that Black lives do not matter in Collin County. Black America should be very upset about what went on today. It lets us know that we are not going to be afforded the same laws as anybody else. And I give a damn about nobody that feels like I'm playing the race card here.
So what does race have to do with the facts of this case?
So look, by the way,
If anything.
I think he was on Cuomo earlier today. I can understand the anger. I can understand the emotions. And here's the problem, okay? The fact that Karmelo Anthony, that he had a jury that didn't have one black juror. I can't sit here and tell you today whether or not that had an effect on the verdict. But what I can tell you is it puts a cloud over it. And that is why you have to be so careful in jury selection. This is definitely going to come up in an appellate argument. We'll see if it's an uphill argument if it works. But it takes away from what the evidence was. It takes away from the testimony, and it takes away from what the verdict is. So at the end of the day, you know, you can understand why race plays a factor. You can understand why it becomes part of the conversation. I can't tell you if it had an effect in the jurors, but I know it's going to be an issue that comes forward as we continue the conversation and as this moves over to the appellate argument.
But David, during jury selection process, there were a number of folks who were considered to be on the jury who were black, and said they were not served because they said they had already made up their mind about whether they would be able to properly hear the facts of the case, and they didn't want to send Karmelo Anthony to jail because of his race. I mean, that also poisons the jury process and the trial process, does it not?
Very much so, Katie. Very much so. I mean, look, you can only play the cards that you're dealt. So if you have black jurors who are saying, I cannot be not biased in this situation, you're going to have to strike them. And at the end of the day, if you only have a jury that's all white, it's sorry, but this is not
Which
a
it
case
wasn't, by the way. There were people of color on the jury. It was not an all-white jury.
Correct. But what I'm saying is, if you're saying this is going to be a race issue, you got to look at the facts of the case. You can't just look at the one part of it. The facts of the case are very, very simple in this situation. You have an individual who stabbed another individual, and he's claiming self-defense. And you have all these witnesses saying there was no part that there needed to be self-defense, that this individual was the aggressor, that he went into that tent and he was asked to leave. He wouldn't leave. That's all you have to look at in this situation.
All right, Kevin, what you got? Let's go. All right, Kev, let's go.
Man, Timu MLK need to go sit down somewhere.
Did you catch it?
Yes. I'll tell you, man.
It was wish.com, man. He had a wish. He had a wish. Not a dream, he had a wish.
Why every black activist have to talk like they Dr. King? It makes no sense.
No, that was crazy. That was crazy work.
Yeah. And then that dude with the funny hair, he needs to stop.
Right.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
No, I want to bring up something. The black juror argument. Is there a presupposition or a thought that if you bring on a black juror that they're going to vote differently based upon the evidence and facts? Because that's almost what they're saying. So you do realize the pressure you're putting on. Let's say this goes to appeal and they totally vacate it and they got to start over again. Do you realize what you're going to do to the black jurors that get on the jury? And the white jury? You're going to have the same problem. Like that makes absolutely no sense. Also made a point, the whole, and I heard this so much today. I was like, man, these people really just want this to be true. The whole all white jury argument. Like, please stop with that.
Yep.
Please stop.
Not all white.
It wasn't all white.
And this is the thing too. Frisco, Texas, and even McKinney, Texas, where the trial was, is only 12% black. These aren't black areas. These are largely white and Asian areas of town. Yeah,
for sure.
They're very affluent. And this idea that you were gonna get several black people it just wasn't gonna happen. And then when people say, hey, I can't be unbiased, they're gonna get struck from the jury pool. Like, what do you want? But this is how you know it doesn't matter. This is how you know it doesn't matter.
Tell me how.
Because the South Carolina case with
Kevin, you are spot on. I got the video ready next. Dude, you are on y'all put Kev in the chat. You are right there, man. You are the Segway king.
Yeah, man.
Somebody give me a picture of Kevin on a Segway so I can make an emoji out of that. I didn't put Kevin Briggins on us. Dude, I got the video right here ready.
Dude, I didn't know.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, it proves that it doesn't matter because in the Rick Chow case, half the jury was black in South Carolina, and they came back not guilty. And people still say it was the system, it was racism. They don't care about black lives when black. I'm like, it was black people on the jury. So this is the thing. This is what we have to understand. At the end of the day, we have to stop pretending that these people care about any facts. The facts mean nothing. It is all about the narrative, and they're going to stick to the narrative like Wise said. If you start with a lie, you got to fight with the lie. Like, you just got to go down with the lie.
Yeah, go down with the lie.
Keep going down with the lie no matter how stupid they look. And that's doing the most detriment to the black community. They don't understand that the rest of the country is looking at them going like, what are you talking about? Look at the facts. Look at the evidence.
Right.
And when you don't make your assessment or your appeal for justice or injustice based on the facts, this is why no one cares anymore, no matter what the situation is. No one listens to the cries of racism anymore. No one cares.
No one cares.
We have cried wolf so many times.
Yes.
Like, no one cares.
Right. So I want to bring this up. I'm glad you brought it up because not only was the South Carolina case, not only did they have black jurors on the jury, they also had a very accomplished, what's his name, Rick Cho, I think the guy's name, the Asian guy, Rick Chow. He had a very accomplished black lawyer. Here's his lawyer, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear what he has to say.
So I just got done defending a pretty high-profile case that I think most of the world knows about. And a lot of folks have been asking a lot of questions, and usually I don't talk about the cases, but in this situation, given the negative attention and the vitriol and the racist threats and the death messages that myself and my family, I thought I'd address some things. And one of the biggest ones people have asked me is, why would you take on this representation? Now, first, I've been practicing law for 25 years. Here recently and shortly, and actually throughout that entire time, I've represented 3 African American males who are accused of raping a little white girl. I have represented an individual who was accused of killing a person, folding his body and sticking him in an abandoned building in Florence, South Carolina. I have represented a young lady who was accused of killing and drowning her newborn baby. I have represented countless individuals who have been accused of criminal sexual conduct, countless individuals who have been accused of child pornography. Represent an individual in Florence who was accused of murder, killing his rival along with his wife, who was also in the car. So there have been countless individuals who I've represented in the past, and so when someone says, why did you take this case? I don't judge. God judges. If you pick and choose who are you going to judge in your cases, it makes you ineffective of what you're doing. And so people say, why this case? Well, why not any of those ones with the outrage that has come forth? As criminal defense attorneys, we represent the Constitution, we represent individuals. And so when people say comments to me, and I've heard a lot of them, like, you didn't have to take this one. Well, I don't have to pay my mortgage either, but if you don't, they end up taking that from you. When the individual came to me and requested representation, that's the second thing. Oh, you're just a token. You were just put on the team because you're black. I'm pretty fucking good at what I do. And I find insult to that for someone who would just say the only reason somebody would ask me for representation is because I'm black. If you check and see the things that I do, I am very damn good at what I do, and I'm a very good lawyer. And I will not apologize for being somebody when someone needs, they contact and want a good lawyer. And the assumption is, which I hate, when someone says they want the best lawyer, by saying that you're saying the best lawyer can't be African American. That's disappointing on our parts. As far as the legal defense, when a person comes to us and says the following sentence, look, a gun was pointed at my son, I thought he was going to die, so I fired and shot. That was the legal defense. There was nothing creative, there was nothing tricky, there was nothing fancy. That was the legal defense. Nothing was hidden. I don't want people to say there was all this great stuff. That was the legal defense. This was presented to a jury of 12 individuals, 7 of which were minorities, who heard that legal defense and said, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't create those facts. I'm also hearing, finally, probably most importantly, that that people are saying we need to boycott Sean Kent. I'm not fucking Target. I'm not TJ Maxx. You're going to boycott me, and then someone says we're going to boycott him and we're going to take our problems to a white lawyer. Okay, yeah, that'll show me that we don't need him. Well, enjoy jail, enjoy prison, boycott me if you will, but I will constantly and always fight for what's right. People sending the messages, and there have been some there have been some creative messages. I guess the number one is that you have no eyebrows and stuff like that, which I know is true. So there have been some very creative messages, but there have also been some insulting ones, and there's been a lot of people who have requested phone calls, and I've talked to them. If somebody sends me a message and it's nice and polite and say, I just disagree with what you do, I've picked up the phone and I've talked to them, because I do think a system works better if you have an actual intelligent conversation. Mm-hmm. I do think there are problems with the way, and let me make this clear. The state of South Carolina did everything that they needed to do in this case. They tried their damnedest to present the case that they wanted to present. There's some very good lawyers in that office who I respect tremendously, and I know they're getting a lot of hate also, which I think is unfair, because they do what they have to do, as do we, and that's what makes the system work. If we do not fight for everybody equally, then the system fails and stops to work. And so I hate it, and I hate it for the young man's family. I hate it for Cyrus's family. I hate it that a young man died. I 100% do. Prosecutor said some stuff that there's a lot of things he is not going to be able to experience in his life, and I fucking hate it. I can't control that part. But I do. It saddens me. It saddens me that a young life has been snuffed out entirely too early, and I think, whether people believe it or not, the defendant would agree with that. He felt that he was in a situation that something had to be done, or his son would be dead now. That's his position. People disagree with it, but that's his position. And a 12-member jury heard that position and said the same. So again, people who are telling me, I'm getting a lot of the last one. I can't believe you defended that racist, you fucking coon. Racist, you fucking. And you rat. And I finally figured out what those little emojis are that you're putting on my pages. I guess that's supposed to be a coon. You're a sellout, you're a racist. And I'm just like, am I a sellout by showing the world that, you know what? I'm really good at what I do, and I'm going to fight like crazy for you or for anyone else. And so all of the threat messages and all the other situations, I hope down the road, if you need a lawyer, someone is there for you and you get a really damn good lawyer, the best one you can be. And I hope someday we get to the point in our society where we say the best lawyers in the world have to be white and not necessarily black or people of color. We start to realize that good lawyers come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. And this is the task that we have chosen. This is the job we have chosen. This is the obligation that we have taken on, and this is one that I'll take on. I hate it though. I hate the hate, and I hate the fact that we cannot look past and realize that sometimes people can be good lawyers and still good people.
All right, Kevin, what you thinking? Hold on. Before we get too far, I'm glad he ended on such a positive note that you can be good people and a good lawyer. You could be a fit person and a fit lawyer. Bada boom, we got the fit lawyer in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Love that transition. Love that.
You like how I did it? What's going on? How are you? Oh, we can hear you perfectly.
Okay, good. I'm doing good. Hello, Kevin.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Chet. Thank you for having me tonight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the fit lawyer ATL in the building. Fantastic lawyer, legal mind. She was on recently. We talked about Karmelo. I want her to come on and talk a little bit. We were just talking. We had spoken about the whole black juror situation. And it just so happened we were saying, hey, you see what they did to they were black jurors in the case in South Carolina. I said, not only were they black jurors, he had a black attorney and they're coming after him. So we were watching his Sean Kent's story, if you will. But tell us give us your overview, Fit. Give us an overview of Karmelo's the verdict and the sentencing. What are your thoughts on it?
I was hoping that the jury would come back with manslaughter, but I definitely understand how they came back with murder. The evidence fits that charge. If you look at the law in Texas, which I have pulled up so people can actually see what needed to be proven. And as far as the sentencing, once they bypassed the manslaughter, right, which would have been a sentencing range of 2 to 20, I knew that they'd be higher than 20, right? And so I kind of figured we were looking at maybe around 40. So got 35, wow. So yeah.
We split it. So and look, go ahead.
I'm sorry, for parole is half the time, which is 17 and a half years, which is the age Austin Metcalf was at the time that he died. Not coincidence.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Now going back to what Sean said, what do you think about the whole idea of, well, you shouldn't represent somebody who's quote unquote a racist or quote unquote going against the code or against the community and whatnot like that as a accomplished lawyer in your own right? What do you think about that argument? And, people coming at Sean Kent, and I'm sure maybe even yourself, if you have a story in that regard.
Yeah, I think it's BS, and I agree with everything he said. Like, you're a defense attorney, so you're ready to defend whatever case comes through. Like, I've been a defense attorney for 20 years. I would be excited to get that call so that I could jump onto the case and show, the skills and represent and make the argument. Like you said, in that case, there were black jurors that were on the case. So a lot of times the public, we kind of escalate like in this case, we made it a race thing. It was never a race thing in this case. It just happened to be that Karmelo was black and Austin was white, but it wasn't a race thing. As you see, the state put up more white, black and Hispanic kids to testify than they did white. Like, this was a mixed and diverse community, but the public made it a race thing. And so that sometimes makes people feel a certain way about the case, but defense attorneys love the cases that they take. Look at Brian Steele. He ran up to New York to jump on the
He did. He ran up there, right?
I was hoping they would call me, right? Like, so, but I'm glad they didn't, because clearly I wouldn't have been crying up there for 30 minutes over Diddy. So
I know that's right. Let me ask you this. And by the way, just a quick background. I've met Fit. She is, do you want to tell them what you primarily work with, an area that you primarily deal with?
Yeah, so I'm a 20-year criminal defense attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, and I've been practicing personal injury for the last 12 years as well. So the firm does car accident, truck accident cases, slip and falls, as well as any crime that you're charged with. I have active murder cases now, child molestation cases, rape cases. So we handle it all.
I got you. And I think we met somehow or another talking about DUIs for some reason. And you came.
We first met, in League's chat.
Okay, yeah.
Like the YSL trial and all of that stuff. And then from there.
I just remember when she said, Fit is the one who told it, like, don't say a word, just take the ride. You had it was very colorful the way you said it, but it was like keep your mouth closed and take the ride or something to that degree.
Yep. And take
and so
trademark. So T-shirts are coming soon.
I love it. So when we're watching body cams and stuff like that, that's where I got a lot of this from Fit, by the way, y'all. So a lot of this comes from her. Like, just be quiet, stop talking. You're gonna go to jail. So go ahead, open the door up, put your hand out the door and open the door up and get out the car, behave, and go ahead and call Fit when you get there. That's it.
Yeah. And Karmelo Anthony, had he been quiet after this incident occurred and not said anything, maybe things would have been looked at differently, right? Because a lot of the statements that they used against him were all said after this incident, after he was in custody with the resource officer. And he wasn't even being questioned. He was just blurting things out.
So somebody asked, and I wasn't planning to bring this up, but she just asked, how would you have defended him? Or do you have anything that you would have said, differently, or how you would have handled this, approach it?
I'm not sure we would have went to trial on this case. I definitely,
okay.
It truly is what was presented in court, right? Because all we know is what we heard in testimony. So I haven't seen any police reports. I haven't seen the discovery file that was turned over by the state. So I don't know that. But from the testimony that came in the trial, and if you look at what's required to prove murder in Texas, we are not going to trial on this case. From the very beginning, I take League's position. We are sympathetic. We are reaching out to the family. We are apologizing. We are trying. He's on bond. He only spent 12 days in custody.
Right.
April 2nd, right? So we've been out for a long time. We're making amends. We're starting a foundation together. By the time we get to resolution, the family, we're good now. And if anything, maybe we have worked out a 10-year probation deal, or if you have to do any time, maybe it's 5 years. Like, that's the route we're taking with this case. And it definitely could have gone that way. But like Lee pointed out, you kicked the dad out of the prayer vigil. And it's like the Anthony family took the position as they were victims from the beginning of this happening. And it's not the case. That's not what played out in court. And it was detrimental to how this resolved in the end. And I do think the sentence was very symbolic. And so it didn't take them long. I know they had lunch break and still came back with the verdict in 3 hours. So yeah, it was pretty clear.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't know all of the ins and outs of the GoFundMe actions. If either of y'all do, feel free. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to. I don't know that one. ESG
collected a lot of money and all of this, but like I say, I feel like the public, from the only reason this was national news, right? Because crimes like this happen all the time, unfortunately.
Every day.
The only reason is because the public made it that way, and it made it a big race thing. So it was like, oh, Karmelo's. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say, I think it literally started with that press conference.
Yeah,
that press conference, because they had that Timu Al Sharpton dude. That's what messed it all up.
Yeah, but they only got that press conference because people in the community were making them feel as if they were victims. Like, don't let them like this. Like, no, it was like someone literally just lost their life. Like, this is not the approach that we need to take. Karmelo was
I can hear that
in this case, and so that just changed the trajectory of how things resolved. And so this is something that should have never gone to trial.
No, I agree with that 100%.
Clearly, it was self-defense. Like, when you read the statute, you will see how there were qualifiers that are needed that just didn't exist without even going to trial. So self-defense was a no-go. It was a try, but this definitely was a no-go from jump.
I got you. All right, we're going to look at some other legal minds talking about this topic. And I just want to hear what your thoughts are. So we're going to watch and see what they say. Well, hold on. That's Sean Kent. We'll get him out of here. We'll pull him in. Here we go. Let's go. Greenheart's in the chat when you can hear.
I'm really lost. How did this suddenly become some indictment of America's racist criminal justice system? The facts seem pretty clear here.
The facts are crystal clear. This is not a race issue. And in fact, if you don't have to take my word for it, the defense attorney said that in his closing remarks. The prosecution said that in their remarks. And the only people that are race hustling about this case are the people outside the courtroom, mainly the blacks. And frankly, there have been thousands of beefs between young boys since the murder. You don't hear about any of those. There have been thousands of murders of young black men by other black men in Chicago and other blue cities. Where are these protesters screaming for justice in those cases? You don't hear a thing about that. And furthermore, if this was one white dude who got in a beef with another white dude and stabbed him, you wouldn't hear about it. And if it was a black against black, you wouldn't hear about it. So this race had nothing to do with this. And this family of Karmelo Anthony monetized this tragedy. And so it's disgusting, and it's fake, faux outrage, and it's beneath the dignity of what anyone should be doing.
All right. Anything you want to add to that, Fit or Kev?
I'll just start off by saying, sir, you cannot say the blacks.
I stopped listening. When I heard blacks, I tuned out. So sorry.
Yeah. It definitely, that one definitely could have gone, that could have been said differently. I got you.
Sorry, no comment. But I did see a question. ESG 8052 said, so assuming the DA doesn't give you a good deal. Yeah, if that is the case, then you do end up at trial. But I don't think you get there if you approach it from the beginning. Yeah, this family. Yeah. The dad came out soon after the incident occurred saying that he had forgiven Karmelo. So when you hear that and you've murdered their child, possibly, you jump on that and you start to try to work out some type of resolution. Trust me, it happens every day. I have a vehicular homicide case where my client killed 2 people in a car accident after driving drunk, right? But it was friends, family. There's been communication. So this is going to resolve. He is not in custody and hasn't been, and he probably won't be. You see what I'm saying? So I don't care what the case looks like. It can be worked out if the victim is in support. Victim's family is in support of that resolution. What they have to say matters greatly.
No, I agree. Yeah. Back to the video segment, though. I do agree with him, though. It's being fomented by, it's a false narrative that's creating this. And I do believe now we can get into the nuances of exactly when the Anthony family could have turned the tide and exactly when they got on, they went left and went crazy town. We can get into that argument, but I do think that it was definitely in their power to, yes, he's granted us forgiveness. Let's hustle ourselves over there. Let's go ahead and get this thing. Let's get some kumbaya going on. Let's get some contrition happening and show that we are in unity. I think it could have changed this whole vibe. What we're talking about today would be totally different if they had done that. But I mean,
here we are.
Here we are. What you get?
It goes back to, I wonder if Karmelo's parents were operating from the same hood logic that he was operating from. This idea that if someone touches you, you therefore are justified. Like, that's hood rules, right? Because he kept saying, he touched me. He put his hands on me. As if that, in his mind, that justified his actions.
Right.
And I wonder, because, Fit, you mentioned that they were acting like they were the victims. I wonder if they really believe they were the victims because of that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of realizing that your son took someone's life unjustly and their son isn't coming home, and you should show empathy and be contrite over that. Instead, you were acting like you're the victim. And I wonder, did they have the same mentality their son had? He shouldn't have put his hands on, or as social media has, he shouldn't have put his hands on it. You keep your hands to yourself. And I'm like, that's hood rules, y'all. That ain't the law. So I just wonder if his parents had that same mentality, because he clearly did.
Yeah. And the defense attorney, even in his closing, ended with Karmelo's own words, to touch me and find out. And that comment was so detrimental to the case because, and then he doesn't testify, right? So he doesn't get to put a different spin on those words. We're only left with what the state tells us those words mean. And they're saying that's a threat. Your hands in the bag is already on the knife. And they actually, JD put up on his Twitter today, this afternoon, a replica of the knife. And so you can see what it looks like. So you're sitting there with your hand in the book bag on this knife, and you're saying before you're even touched, before someone even approaches you to touch you, touch me and find out. So that means the find out, you already know, right? So you already know that you intend to stab the person if they touch you. That's not.
Let me pull this knife in here. Hold on. This changes a lot of stuff. I don't know if y'all have seen this. I thought this was it. This is not. They can try to make this sound. This is not a. What am I doing?
It's like
right. This is a serious little piece of metal here. No, this is not a chump knife by any degree or measure.
No, first responders said these are the kind of knives they carry to cut people out of seatbelts and accidents.
Yeah, with the serration.
It's a strong utility knife.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, Fit, because I know you. I think when we talked yesterday, you were team Karmelo should have took the stand. Am I right? Is that where we were?
Yeah, so let me
Keep backing up, y'all. I gotta against the ropes, y'all.
Fit. Don't you switch up. We're on the same team.
I'm not gonna switch up, but I gotta qualify that answer. So you can't just throw it out there like
against the ropes, y'all.
From what we know, I don't know his record, so I don't know this whole suspended for a weapon. I don't know that to be true. So if that's not true, and we know everything about him, and it's what was said in opening about a straight A student on the team, doing well, all of that stuff, and that is all, yes, I put him on the stand, even if he fumbles, because there are 4 women on the jury. I just want to tug at the heartstrings of somebody, right? Because we didn't do that in the beginning, but I want to do that now. I want to show remorse. I want to show, if you're going to claim self-defense, someone has to speak to you being in reasonable fear of receiving deadly force or dying or serious bodily injury, right? No one testified to that. So if no one else has and you don't, your self-defense claim is out the window. So if that's what you're truly trying to go with, you got to get on the stand at that point. Now, I don't always want to put defendants up, but when no one else has entered anything about self-defense, you have to. And I think in this case, because if you look at the murder statute, and I'm going to jump on live to go over that tonight, but if you look at that and you know that that's what you're up against, you are trying everything. So you have got to put him up there. I need some tears. I need you to tug. Alex Murdaugh.
No, I got you.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
He was foolish. He was lying the entire time, still trying to save his life. And I think at this point, when no one else has been able to do that, and all your witnesses suck, and they end with saying you're the aggressor, you have to take that stand and testify.
They had a year to teach that boy how to cry on demand.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
And he was at home, so he was at home. He wasn't doing nothing else. But this is my only concern, Fit. This is my only concern. Is the cross-examination.
Yes, I understand.
Let's say that those things were true about suspension and carrying a knife and all that kind of stuff. I could just see the question, and like I even brought up some of the questions, like, so tell me, like, you're the captain of the football team. How did you do that? What are the criteria to be captain of the football team? You got to have good grades. You got to come to practice. Got to not get in trouble at school. Hey, have you ever gotten in trouble at school? I could just see that going so bad for him. And you're right.
I had to qualify. So, but you know what? If that is the case and I can't put my defendant up, you know who is going to testify? Somebody that's going to speak to that for me. I'm going to train somebody else to get that stuff in. You're going to testify for me. You're going to say that he was scared. You're going to say that Austin, you're going to give it all. I'm going to get it in through other witnesses, but you got to get it in. If you don't, there's no self-defense.
Well, they learned it. Well, their own witnesses imploded their own story.
Well, did he prep the witness? One witness.
I don't know what happened. I
haven't talked to you, have I? We just talked for a couple of minutes in the hallway. Like my life is on the line, and you just talked to somebody 2 minutes in the hall. No. You got to prep. We have witnesses coming to the office. I'm drilling you, and if you're that kind of witness, I'm going to meet with you more than 1 or 2 times. So you gotta prepare if you're going to go to trial with this case against this law. It really was. It was a long shot.
So and I think we talked about this last time. They didn't, was there an offer made to him at all? Do you know?
I don't know. I've heard a lot
of conflicting things.
Throwing rumors out there. I am going to say yes, just because as a defense attorney, I haven't had a case in 20 years that I haven't gotten an offer on. A lot of times in felony cases, the judges require the offer to be put on the record and rejected before you actually get to the trial part. It's you have to go over that on the record. So yes, I believe there was an offer.
I got you. No, I'm just wondering.
Offer, I am going to hope that is probably about around the same. It could be around the same, right? Because you got to think, if he didn't take it, it must have been more than 20.
Right. So they offered him 20 and they shot that down. Then you got 35. You're like, dog, you almost doubled it.
So they probably maybe they offered 25. You know, I would think there was some type of offer, or they could have offered 40 to 60. And so it came out better. So you never know.
Right. All right, let's keep this dance going. All right, Fox, here we go. Let's see what happened. Green Arts in the chat where you can hear.
Attorney and federal litigator Vic Bajaj. Vic, that's the whole thing. Is we talked about this a couple of times before the verdict. It's interesting. 35 years, guilty. Any of that surprise you?
None of it surprises me. It would be great if we had cameras in the courtroom, but the judge did the right thing. He says, I don't want anything to sway this jury one way or the other than the evidence. Now, let's talk about the 3 hours of deliberation. Some may say, hey, you know what, at least they thought about it. Right. But you have to pick a jury foreperson. You have to read the instructions. Then you have to take potentially a vote and say, hey, does anyone disagree? So the real amount of deliberation, having tried many jury trials and also being a lawyer in Texas and California, was maybe half an hour is my guess on this. Mm-hmm. So this verdict was in when the witnesses testified for the prosecution. The half day or the day of witness for the defense did nothing. And I'll also tell you something else. Where was the psychological evidence? Where was the evidence of epilepsy and perhaps his brain formation being an issue here at sentencing? The defense presented none of it. The jury had nothing to work with. Thus, we have a 35-year murder sentence.
And the suspect never had a chance to speak on his own behalf. The only way you're going to compel the jury, you would think, is to be able to speak on your own behalf. Jonathan Turley says this was one of the big turning points of the trial. Watch.
The defense's own witness really blew up on them by saying that, yeah, Anthony was the one who provoked this moment, this confrontation. That was really a serious blow for the defense.
You agree? Big negative for the defense in that case.
Oh, absolutely. When you have percipient witnesses who saw what happened and they give you the play-by-play, we've talked about this before, Trace, for all of our viewers and listeners. Self-defense is not a stagnant thought. It can move millisecond by millisecond. And in this case, what we saw is witnesses come forward and say, there may have been a shove, but nothing near what's required to have someone be scared for their own physical safety to the extent that they actually have to use fatal force. The evidence was overwhelming. In this case, the defense was underwhelming, and the jury did what they only had the choice to do, given that evidence, and that's a swift guilty verdict.
I wanted to run this by you very quickly. The New York Post writes the following here. Austin Metcalf had no legal right to use force to eject Karmelo Anthony from the Tet. Anthony's lawyer, Mike Howard, said during closing arguments at the Collin County trial, as Anthony looked on intently from the defense table, he had the right to ask him to leave, but he didn't have any legal right to use force. What do you think about that?
It's a fundamental misunderstanding of the law. Now, Texas is different than it is in California. You have to meet force with equal force. You can't bring a knife to a fist fight or a knife to a push or a shove fight. It's absolutely disproportional in any jurisdiction. I have a real fear that the defense in this case did not serve Karmelo Anthony the right way. They should have made a deal quickly. They should have made a deal quietly, and they should have saved him from significant time. And the Metcalf family, our hearts and souls go out to that family. Losing a son, no one can even imagine that type of pain, Trace, but they had to go through the trial too. Unnecessary.
Vic, great to have you on. Thank you.
All right. So the other day when Kevin was on Fit, I said, it really doesn't matter how good of an attorney you have. If you don't give them good evidence and good information to use. And I use the example of Michael Jordan. Most people will definitely agree was a phenomenal basketball player. Or we could use Steph Curry, phenomenal basketball player. It's fair to say you put Steph Curry on the court, he's going to rain down threes like nobody's business. But what if you give him a 12-pound basketball? It really doesn't matter his skill level. You're probably not going to get as many threes as you expected with a 12-pound basketball, or you give him a basketball that's flat. And if they didn't give him enough, if they didn't give their attorney enough information to make this case, again, what was the whole point of saying he was epileptic? What was the point of that? They never seemed to, it don't sound like they made any pleas in that at all.
No.
So, but go ahead.
It was kind of strange because if you mention something in opening, right? Opening statements are not evidence. And the reason they aren't is because look how much this attorney talked about in opening that we never heard about again. So he said something about camping. We never heard anybody to testify about why camping was relevant. We are left to assume the knife was on him because he liked camping, but there was never that connection made.
That's a good point. Yeah.
They brought up the epilepsy. Well, what was the point of that? Did that cause him to jerk and react? Or was he more fearful of being attacked or getting in a fight because he has epilepsy? And if he's in a stress situation, it triggers a response. Was that it? I don't know, because you never put up anybody to testify about that. A doctor could have got up on the stand and testified about that if it was relevant to the case. So I can say this. I checked the docket an hour ago, and there has already been an appeal filed in district court, and there has already been a notice of appeal to the Court of Appeals.
Right.
There has been an application for a public defender to be appointed to do that. So yeah.
So
there are appealable issues. Ineffective assistance of counsel can be. I heard reports that there weren't many objections in the case, right? So I don't know that legally there were any objections to make, but what an appeal attorney will do is go through the entire transcript and see if there were things that were missed. If there were, then they can make that argument is ineffective. The Batson argument, that's the argument that can be made to the 3 Black women jurors being taken off of the jury. The state said they did it because they were teachers and they thought that it would be a bias because this was an incident involving high school kids. But they were all Black. And so they're going to make that argument and let the Court of Appeals decide, is that something that can overturn the case and can they come back? So I don't know if you spoke to nothing coming up at like the sentencing phase, right? Because after he got convicted, there was another phase. There was a phase where evidence could be presented before the jury deliberated on sentencing. The only person that testified was Karmelo's mom. I needed other people to testify. Why didn't we bring in a teacher to testify about his character?
The coach.
Testify.
Yeah.
He have a job. He's 19 now. He's been on bond for 2 years. Has he been working? Like, where is that person to testify? So I thought that was a missed opportunity. So I don't know if that's an appealable issue, but if it is, you throw that in there as well. So definitely he has some issues to raise on appeal. But as Lee said, when me and we started on this YSL appeal, it's very hard to climb out of the hole. So even though he may have issues to raise, it still may not get him home.
So let me ask this question about appeals. So Karmelo Anthony was found guilty of murder, 35 years as a sentence. They appeal it. Are they able to bring in new information, or is it just information that there was something wrong in the original trial? Like, for example, there was some Brady violation or something. I remember that word, Brady. Some ex parte shenanigans going on, but not new information. Can they bring in new information, or is it just deal with the stuff that happened during the original trial?
That can be a basis, but not at first. So your first appeal, you got 30 days to ask. Well, I'm going to speak for Georgia law because I haven't researched Texas for all of the appeal law there. But in Georgia, you would have 30 days to file a motion for new trial. So that's the first thing you will argue. And so you would just go back. But look, you're going back before the same judge you just had the trial before. And you're going to say, Judge, you didn't rule correctly on this. You didn't rule correctly on this. This was an error. We need a new trial. Very rarely does the judge say I was wrong on something. And so that's usually denied. And then you can take it up to the Court of Appeals. When you take things up now, if you come across new evidence and you find out that the state hid something, that can be a reason that you add to your appeal. Yes.
Okay. But if they didn't bring it up, like again, like the let's say there's something bona fide wrong with Karmelo health wise. Okay, there's a bona fide he had been camping last weekend and the knife was in the bag from the camping trip. Okay, and he'd been camping with the Boy Scouts and all that kind of stuff like that, but they never brought it up. That would be, I think, new information.
Well,
they never.
You would argue that in an ineffective assistance of counsel. So you
got it. Okay.
That's how you will argue that issue. And then, but the court has to, let's say those things exist. Do they change what happened in the case? Is there enough evidence still there that we can find you guilty of murder, even though that happens? Then it becomes harmless error, unless the law says keeping that stuff out is reversible error. So there's going to be cases that have already been decided with these type of issues that will direct the court on how they're going to decide. So a lot about being a lawyer is just reading cases. So
Right.
Yeah, that's how the law is decided.
No, I got you. Kev, you got to add anything?
Man, I was just in here thinking about just the whole case in general, the incident in general. And at the end of the day, man, it's really simple. Karmelo could have just left. At the end of the day, he could have just left because it wasn't like Austin was the only person who asked him to leave. They said it was roughly about 15 different times he was asked to leave by different people.
Yeah.
You're under this team's tent. This team is asking you to leave because they don't know you. And this is what Karmelo words got him. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Y'all some peas, right? And he was against the entire group. It wasn't like he was being picked on. Like, no, he was standing his ground. He's like, y'all ain't gonna do nothing, right? And then when he was with the with the police officer, his words became very singular. He touched me. He put his hands on me. So this idea that he was jumped and all, like, none of that stuff. All the dude had to do was leave when these people asked him to leave, and he would have been at home today. Instead, he chose to do the whole "I ain't no punk. Y'all can't tell me what to do. Touch me and find out." And he did, and now it's consequences for that. But this could have been so easily avoided. It's senseless. At the end of the day, it's senseless. One kid is dead. One is in prison for the next 35 years. So
yeah, and I think that's something that we have to remember. Like, again, sure, they don't have the right to tell you to leave. Sure, they had no power to push you out of there. You're 1,000% correct. But you stab somebody in the heart, my dude. Like, I don't know how you're more noble than that. Like, don't like, let's not forget the fact that, hey, they ask you to leave several times. Let's say they ask you to leave for 10 minutes straight. Hey, get out of here, leave, get out of here for 10 minutes. And then they finally, again, I don't think they should have pushed them, but isn't that about par for children, though? We're not talking about grown adults. We're talking about kids. Kids would do that. And so he pushed you and you stab him in the heart. You're not going to get the nobility prize from me.
Not at all. And they didn't have a legal right. I guess that's what people are looking for, to tell him to move. But I had to think about homecoming. We got 10.
Come on now. Come on now.
10 with my stars now. You come
on, y'all, watch out.
There, and we tell you to get from under the tent. We got to get ass from under the tent. You know what I'm saying? We got to get from under the tent. So I can see how, that became an issue, and he should have just left. But then, like I say, you have the adults on the outside of this. We're tired of, Caucasians trying to police, outside and ask us where we can go. And so they're egging that kind of thought process on, then placing Karmelo as a victim. But he wasn't. You're at this school's tent, and you were told by 8 people to leave the tent 15 times. That was testified to. So get out the tent, and we live to see another day. Period.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you brought up homecoming, because all the black boule, all the bliggity blacks would all have a fit if you roll up in a tent,
Yes.
especially if it's a ticketed tent, and you roll up in there talking about I ain't leaving.
Yes.
I guarantee you. Matter of fact, I do not suggest anybody do this, but go on down to Spell House in October and go up in somebody's tent and sit there and say you're not going to leave. Y'all a bunch of peas. Touch me and find out and see what happens and let me report back to us.
Yes.
Yeah, because they would put their hands on you in a hot minute. And they over here still acting a fool right here about Karmelo, but they would do the exact same thing that Austin did in real time. That's,
Yep.
let me ask you this. Have you ever seen protesters outside of a court though, Fit?
I think we have, right? We had them. I mean, I'm
not like this though, like the ones we talking about.
Remember the OJ trial, but what in the sense of like what it looked like on the outside, but then they have protesters outside in the OJ.
I'm too young for the OJ trial. Y'all old people. Y'all
okay, well, Karen
y'all
Reed,
mature
they had
people.
protesters outside of the Karen Reed case.
Yeah, that's right, dog. You're right about that. Yeah, they definitely. Yeah, you're right. It was out there. You're right.
You can hear the people on the outside.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Courthouse feed of the so
And it was out there. I don't know.
Put this on.
Okay. Right. I don't. Yeah. So it's not just black folk. You're right. I forgot about the Karen Reed trial.
Yeah.
Like.
They talk that shit. They got no heads back that shit up. I bet you know. I bet you. Come on, boy. Come on, boy.
My man is in loafers and suspenders telling somebody, come on, and cufflinks talking about, come on, boy. We about to get it on. Like, come on, man. To me, though, Fit, okay, I understand protesting. Okay, I'll give you Karen Reed. I'll give you that one.
Okay.
But this right here is negative. Like, go ahead.
Not protesters. So I guess.
Say again?
Someone, Billy Marie says they were supporters, not protesters at Karen Reed. So.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Trial. People were outside the R. Kelly trial on both sides.
but I guarantee you they weren't like fisticuff.
No. This is
like this would have gone fisticuff.
Yeah.
But once again, in this just indicative of the culture. That's why we had a trial right now, because of this kind of behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
dang,
man,
Kev, you got hurt their feelings, Kev.
We got to stop, man. Dude, it's culture.
We got to fix it. We got to.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all hear that, police? They call mutual conflict over here. All right, put the phone down. Damn right. I think my shit's still healing from the
They really about to fight. Like
pride, man. It's pride.
I wanted my man in the blue.
I'm out here standing up for what's right. He murdered that boy. You only here because you're a racist. I'm a racist. You a racist. I'm not racist. So why are you here standing up for a murderer? Why are you here standing up for a murderer? Because you have to the person he killed is white. That's why. He's 18, boy. He can serve in the army. And they're both kids. One's a murderer. And they're both one's a murderer. I'm standing up for I ain't scared, bitch. You can get in my face.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm just saying though. I'm just saying though. I ain't scared. You can go get a bitch. You can go call one of your sisters out here.
What are we doing?
I don't know, man. I don't understand.
Now you hush move. I just moved. I just moved.
Why are you stepping back?
Hey, look, check this out. They want to see us out here. They ain't gonna let you drive.
Like, I'm gonna stop this one, but like, what is the purpose of this, man? Like, why? That's what I don't think that and that's why I didn't really want to do the Karmelo Anthony trial, because I was saying initially, I said this type of behavior really just goes left and for no reason. Like these cats fighting and scrapping. I think the punchline is that the brother with the bow tie and with the tie on actually gets arrested at the end. But I don't know what happened. I saw it. I pulled it up. We can watch it if y'all want to. But here, I'll watch it while I'm talking. But I'm like, what's the purpose of this? Like, at some point, this has gone too far, and that's all I was concerned about. I feel like it's not supportive. Like, who's benefiting from this?
Yeah.
The dude in the suspenders, because he getting some good content. That's all I can say.
For sure.
Because he's live streaming for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think he's instigating a lot of this for his own
benefit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
I do have to say I love Texas sheriffs and the cowboy hats though. you gotta give respect there. You gotta respect the hat. So
little Walker Texas Ranger.
There we go. A little bit, just a little bit. What is she doing?
Oh my goodness. I can hear her and it's on mute.
And you're right. You can hear her. Hold on, let me hear. Oh, you knew that. You knew there was some clapping. You knew it.
Shorty, come here.
What are we doing, y'all?
What is it?
Hey, bro, talk about CD30. Talk about you losing CD30.
What's CD30? Oh, he about to get like I said. I think he gets arrested.
He just got arrested for public intoxication.
Say again, friend.
I think that he got arrested for public intoxication. That's what someone was saying in the comments.
Oh wow. Okay.
On camera. We got it on camera. You committed assault.
Dang. All right, well.
You got what you want to get. You got what you want to get. Your 5 minutes of fame. You thought you was going to get.
Yeah, he did. That was what he was going for, his 5 minutes.
We will. We won't give up. Y'all got something.
All right, well, yeah. Well, what's the
womp womp?
See, this is when folks be sitting at home going, the blacks.
Right.
Right.
The blacks. Not the blacks.
Facts. I saw
The blacks.
Nicholas Yard had a statement. They did not object and preserve the record. So good luck to him. Well, the failure to object is an appealable issue in ineffective assistance of counsel. So he has a chance. So let's see how that goes for him.
And I will say to the earlier video we watched, I mean, Fit, you speak to this. I don't think there's any way they're going to be able to win an appeal based on the lack of black people on the jury. The precedent that would set would be kind of ridiculous now.
I agree.
We're going to start having like racial quotas on juries and stuff.
Go ahead.
So that has happened several times before. I actually was on Westlaw researching in Texas. There was a case where they took a guy off because he had gold teeth in his mouth. And so they raised that issue on appeal, and they came back and said, no, that is a race reason that you all did it. So they overturned that case, right? So it can happen that if they find that the state really didn't remove them for that race neutral reason, but they're teachers that happen at the school, they may have a sympathetic bias. I mean, it sounds like a good reason. So the argument may not go far, but they definitely could, if they find on appeal that it wasn't race neutral, they'll have to overturn it because they have to issue an order on that. So you kind of get out of the Court of Appeals doesn't get caught up in the whole media and all this kind of things, right? Because you all will drop off, right? So we're not going to be following. No, I'm just being real.
No, I got you. No, you're right.
Docket for our appeal for Antonio Sledge. They're not like looking every day. Those judges are appointed, they're elected, like they're not worried about the public opinion. So they're going to apply the law because they have to, because they're the appeals court, because it can just go higher and higher. So it could happen, but it won't be saying you can't have an all black jury. It'll just be saying your reason for taking off these 3 black women was not race neutral. So therefore we have to overturn that. So that is what they'll be saying. But you're right. They won't just say you got to have a black person on the jury. No, that's not what a jury of your peers is. Because one, he was 17 when this happened, right? So no 17-year-old could be on the jury. It's just about, it's somebody from your community. It's someone from your area, right? Someone that can relate. You do want black people on the jury, but they got to come in and act like they want to be on a jury, right? You can't talk about
and you're talking about an area that's only 12% black. This is a
Yes.
highly white and Asian area, so it's just going to be difficult.
It's gonna be difficult, and especially when you come in with the reasons like I can't give a brother jail time. I can't see. I already made up my mind. You can't come in there talking like that if you expect to make it to the jury.
So actually, and it could be a rumor. It could have just been lost in translation. But when they were starting the jury process, and they said a man said, "I can't throw a brother in jail," XYZ ABC. They said it was a man though.
Yes.
So that means it was a black man. So it wasn't just that they only had 3 black women and threw out the 3 black women. There were other black people, if you will, other the blacks on the jury pool, and there was some raisins in the rice, and there was other people there of highly melanated flavoring. So I'm just wondering how much of this is actually real, that there were 3 teachers and they threw out the 3 teachers versus but the narrative sounds like there was only 3 teachers and they threw out the only 3 blacks in it, but there were others though. That's all I was saying.
There were others who admitted they couldn't be neutral.
They couldn't be neutral,
or they
right.
wouldn't see they wouldn't send a child to prison or something like that.
Right. And they were stricken for cause. So those people didn't even get to the point of the elimination process where the other 3 black ladies were. So basically those people were stricken by the judge. So when they make those bold statements that you can't be unbiased, you can't send somebody to jail, I don't have to waste my 10 peremptory strikes on you. The judge will strike you for cause. So we're saying after everyone's stricken for cause and they are at the point where they are going down the list and they are Xing out the last final people and the people left will be the jury, that is when 3 black women were struck. The state used 3 of their 10 peremptory strikes to strike 3 black women. That is what that statement means and why we're not talking about the guy and all that stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
The state didn't have to use their strikes.
Got it.
Look. Those 3 black women could have been on the jury had the state not used their strikes.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. If I'm defending a white person or I'm trying to convict a black person, if you on the jury and you got gold teeth, I'm striking you too. I'm striking you. I ain't no fool. I ain't no fool.
But you know, Kev, you know what? I'm gonna put you in timeout while I say shout out to Bat Wings for the very kind, very gracious 20 says this. Trying to defend Karmelo Anthony was like trying to drive a car uphill with no wheels, engine, transmission, seats, or steering wheel. Dang, man. Did at least get a windshield? My opinion is that he hoped he could get an activist jury, or a jury would be too scared to convict.
Texas.
Not in McKinney.
McKinney, Texas.
Not in McKinney.
Nope.
They gambled. I still think they let that boy down. I don't think he knew enough to decide and direct his own defense. So he's relying on mom and dad, the activist dude, Charleston White, his attorney. And I don't think he was able to provide enough, like, what does he really want? And I don't think the people knew. I don't think his parents really put his needs first, in my opinion.
Or maybe they didn't have the right person in their ear guiding them, No,
I agree. Yeah. They didn't have fit. They didn't have Amethyst saying, funny how nobody's doxing the white lawyer. That's a good point.
And so I heard someone talking about their attorney. So he had a public defender when he first got arrested, but the family hired Mike Howard and
Howard, yeah.
So let's put their names. Those were the 2 paid defense attorneys that represented him. So they were hired. He did not have a public defender. Now that he's up for appeal, the attorney that represents you on the case never is the attorney that files the appeal, because I can't argue that I was ineffective if I'm
right.
So because I'm now
that would be crazy.
Got to subpoena me to testify. So therefore he has to get another attorney. So they have asked for a public defender right now, but they could have money to hire for an appeal later. Maybe the people outside the courthouse donate to a cause and they can afford a private attorney for the appeal.
I guess so. Well, thank you so much, Christelle, with the 5. Cardi B admitted to drugging people and Dominique Hurt an innocent baby. Yet folks listen to them for news. The lack of standard is terrifying, all for clout. That's a good point. I mean, Cardi B catches no strays for the things that she's done in the past.
Look, the only way the black community disowns you is if you vote Republican. That's it. Outside of that, you can be as degenerate as you want, and they be like, "You my people," right? You come to the cookout. The only way you get uninvited from the cookout is if you vote the other way. That's it.
Well, SC said, "Look, Fit, do you practice up in South Carolina?" She asking for a friend.
Unfortunately, I'm only licensed in Georgia, so sorry.
No, don't be coming to try to steal her. Don't try to steal her. But speaking of to the cookout, well, Mew is the cookout sponsor.
For real.
He's the cookout sponsor. I appreciate you. He has a lifetime acceptance to the cookout. You don't have to bring your own Tupperware. We will give you your Tupperware when you get here. It says this: seeing some conflicts here near Killeen. Why you jump on me? You know I can't pronounce words. Killeen, Texas, mostly over race.
And as a former military guy, I know that's Killeen, Texas, where Fort Hood is. And Fort Hood has the right name because it is the hood.
I enjoy like-minded commentary by people regardless of race. Keep up the good work, fam. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, friend. Thank you so much. All right, let's keep this dance going. Let's keep this going. Let's jump over here and see what they got going on over here on National Report. This was kind of short though. Green Hearts in the chat.
Truly believe in it. I think the law worked here.
Wait, let me back up.
I'm a lawyer. It's my profession. I truly believe in it. I think the law worked here. I'm also a law professor, and I teach my students that you have to look at individual cases. Texas has a stand your ground law where he's not required to leave that tent, even if it's not, sportsmanlike to be there. But you still can't take an escalation. You can't turn a shove into a stabbing, and that's what the jury saw here. So he still gets the benefit of the law, like stand your ground, like self-defense, but the jury just rejected it because they said he escalated too much. But we have to really pay attention to the facts of this case, and I think in this case, the jury got it right.
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer. It's my profession. I truly believe in it. I think the law worked here.
Yeah. How y'all feel about that?
I'll say this. If he got shoved, let's say he got shoved, and he shoved Austin back. Or let's say he punched Austin. Austin falls down the bleachers and hits his head and he dies. Karmelo would have been okay. He would have been okay, right? He would have got the stand your ground, self-defense. Austin hit him first. He retaliated back, and this kid fell and hit his head and he died. Wow. That would have been fine. But you can't go, you did me like that. And so now I get to stab you. And even from the testimony, they said like it happened so quickly. It was like almost Austin really didn't get a chance to touch him for real. Like the minute he did this, it was a stab. Yeah. And so you just not gonna get stand your ground, self-defense when you escalated to a degree to when you weren't in risk of bodily harm or death. Because if you were, you would have just left as if they asked you to. It was just I feel like what the commenter said about trying to drive uphill with no wheels, no steering wheel. There was no way to defend this case. There was no way to win it. It just wasn't. So yeah.
Go ahead, Fit. What you got?
Yeah,
do you agree?
I think people on the outside, lay people, we hear self-defense. So you're thinking, anytime I want to defend myself, I can, and that's self-defense. But no, for this case, there was a law and there's a statute in Texas. And in order to use deadly force, the second qualifier of that statute went into the degree, it says that the actor against the other has to be defending deadly force. So right there, Austin is not giving him deadly force. So right there, he cannot use self-defense. So this defense doesn't even work with the facts of the case off the rip. So only reason you're using this at trial is because you're trying to, because in Texas, it was put back on the state, right, to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it wasn't self-defense. So they had to prove to the jury beyond a reasonable doubt, not Karmelo, that he wasn't acting under self-defense. But to me, it was easy, right? Because Austin didn't have a weapon, so he wasn't giving deadly force. And they also argued that he was prohibited from arguing self-defense because he provoked him, right? And you don't have to provoke him is like the unlawful force that Austin used in pushing him. They're saying Karmelo provoked it because he says, what he says, touch me and find out.
Yeah.
They're saying by saying touch me, you're inviting the touch me. And this is when having a black juror on the panel would help, because the black juror will be able to say, that ain't what he meant. In the black community, touch me means don't do it for real. But if you do, I'm going to get active. So I wasn't, inviting him to touch me. I was just warning him, please don't touch me, because I do not want to take the steps that I will take if I am touched unlawfully. But like, we didn't have a black juror on the jury.
Have y'all seen that comedian talking about how like black languages is just the opposite of white language? Right?
I believe it.
Yep.
That's what we would have been able to add to it. So it's not necessarily that the verdict would have been different, right? We would have just been able to explain the cultural things that existed in the case, and it would have made the black people on the outside feel better, right? It's just a black person was in the room. Y'all say it's right. Okay, cool. We believe you. It's right.
Is a white person? You got the wrong one, buddy. Black person. Oh, you got the right one. Like, just saying the opposite.
Yeah, that's just, we don't like it, and it shouldn't be like that, but that's just how it is.
No, you're right. You're right. I probably would not have wanted to be on this jury. So I would have probably not wanted to be on here, Heather, just because of the weight of it. I would not want it to have been doxxed. I would not want it to bring my family involved into it. I hate to say it now. Now we're going to start. These are going to become things that you think about. Like, do I, this is a big trial. Do I want to be involved in it? And it's going to draw my family into it as well. I would have tried to get out of it.
No, help save my life. What do you mean? Your family's at home. Y'all together every day. Don't
right. But I don't know who might. I don't know who might try to come to my family. I don't know. I'm not 100%.
That's why you started the GoFundMe, man.
Yeah.
You got to relocate.
Wait, for a juror? Yeah, you're killing me. Wait, I'm a juror. I'm going to get struck. I'm going to be like, nah, man, I'm right wing. Nah, man, I'm doing everything I can to get kicked off. I'm coming to make America
like,
great hat on.
From the cookout.
You want to see my T-shirt? I mean, my black card. I ain't got it. Whatever. I need whatever I need to do.
See, we only had 12 black people in this big panel of 589, and
you only gonna have 11.
Yep.
You only gonna have 11 because the hitman is not gonna be there. Yeah. The hitman is gonna be gone. Sorry, see you later.
And that's why we don't have a jury of our peers.
See, but no, you got your peers. I'm just you got your peers. You just don't got my beard. That's it.
Let's be real. Let's be real. What's the real reason people don't want to do jury duty? Because they pay.
It's $25 a day.
Man, I was like $3 a day. Like it's trash.
$20 for the first day and $58 for each additional day in Texas.
Man, that's
great! Now you can get 2 lattes instead of just a latte and a piece of bread. Oh, that's wonderful.
Get on jury duty.
Hey, for $58, they might get me for an hour. That's my hourly rate.
Well, the way my ADHD is built.
Jury, sometimes black men, depending on your military, I would be concerned. I probably would strike you because I think that you probably feel this was murder. You wouldn't be sympathetic. You would look at it's not self-defense. You can't push, and then because you're military. So those kind of things we would think. I would strike you for that reason. So I probably would pick Jay Wood if he would hang around.
No, I'm out of here. I don't got no black card. They took my black card, y'all.
She just said you look gullible.
Because you're
dang.
You know how stupid young kids are. You know that this was just a mistake. You're going to be able to speak to the jurors and tell them, no, he didn't intentionally do this. Like you would have kind of probably got me to my manslaughter.
Yeah, she profiled me. She's like, yeah, he cold. Hang on.
Right. How's she profiling me?
Black male, you're probably Republican, military.
Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Yeah. Can I tell you that I'm conservative and I'm how about that?
Yeah, but you love the kids.
Oh man. All right. I don't know what you think about Roland Martin. Fit.
I haven't watched him. What did he say about this case?
Just watching Kevin's response was worth the price of admission.
Roly Poly Martin, man, it's just
he's
a paid actor. Essential.
Oh, there's no question there. So he had an attorney on, and she's going to share about this. I just want to hear what y'all thoughts are on this. So let's go.
For
Oh, let me back up. Sorry about that.
First and foremost, the one thing that I would ask for people to do at this moment is pray for the Anthony family, because they have been legally lynched for the last year, and more so by this slaughterhouse of a courthouse, as well as the family of the Metcalfs. So the energy right now is very white supremacy. They have shown up to be the pigs that they display with hate. They are celebrating the loss of life and the loss of freedom. So that's the energy. We have a devastated family who didn't know that they was going to have to let their son go back into a holdover because we have an overzealous prosecutor who lied throughout this trial, who put on liars as witnesses in order to be a saving grace for the white community so that they can win an election. That's what it feels like right now.
We already see the prosecutor made clear that he wants it to be a long sentencing.
What I heard from this man today is indicative of why it's important that it's people that look like us that are in courtrooms like that. This man disregarded human life the entire trial. He invoked race. He equated Dallas County as being the ghetto, opposed to Frisco being safe. They propagandized a photo of the deceased with Black people around praying, saying this is community. They used us as a prop in order to pitch their lynching. This man has been known to be an overzealous prosecutor when it comes to us. He see us as what was the statement that free labor. That's what he see us as. So I'm not surprised that this prosecutor, who has unethical background, would get up there and ask for the max when he know that this was self-defense.
All right. Who wants to answer that? I'm going to just jump in. Legal lynching is crazy work. That's some crazy work.
Yeah.
Kevin said earlier how the Anthonys have positioned themselves like the victims. I'm like, this woman is literally like, it's almost like she doesn't care that Karmelo killed somebody.
Nope. She
Okay, we could argue
in a positive light or sympathetic one time
at all. And again, like we can argue, we can wrangle about manslaughter versus murder. I think me and Fit talked about it yesterday. You might have got me. You might have swayed me. I mean, we could have that discussion about, murder versus, but there was nobody should have thought that he was going to go home yesterday. Like, I'm sorry. I don't think anybody rational was under the idea that he was going to go home yesterday or anytime soon. Let's just be honest. I don't think that wasn't real. Okay, that's it. Go ahead.
Lynching, and I don't practice in that town, so maybe her passion and emotion and anger is justified. Maybe the prosecutor there does have unethical things he's done in the past. I can't speak to that, right? I was lost at the legal lynching and the everybody could see is self-defense. Don't agree.
And white supremacy-ish.
Oh, yeah.
However she described it.
Yeah.
That's some crazy work.
Yeah, it was
so
crazy work. But
there's a lot of. Go ahead.
That's her town, so she's pandering to her community. They'll come in and hire her because you talking about the DA and all this kind of stuff. So hey,
she pulling a Jasmine Crockett.
She pulling a Jasmine.
I like Jasmine.
Jasmine panders to that same crowd.
She does. Come on,
that woman's an educated, very smart woman who dumbs herself down and acts ghetto to appeal to the same audience. That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Follow.
Yeah.
Shout out. Thank you so much, John, with the 5 says. I really appreciate the presented perspectives. I have followed Fit Lawyer. God bless the panel and the chat. Well, thank you so much, friend. All right, this one is kind of interesting. There's a channel called Hype News, and they were just doing a breakdown of what happened. And I thought it was interesting because he gives his perspective on whether or not would things change if there was, if both people were white, if both were black, if Karmelo was white and Austin was black. He plays that, and I want to hear your thoughts on it because I had some thoughts when I was working out today, and I want to hear what y'all think about it. Let's dance. And by the way, so apparently, like his family has not said anything like officially, like.
Who's family?
Karmelo's family? Have they said anything officially?
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, okay. Because mom gave a passionate plea before the sentencing, but nothing else. And I just cannot get off of the fact, like, man, if they had said something before, imagine where this could be. We would be having a whole different conversation. Yeah. I don't think it would have been as big a deal, truth be told. But all right, let's go. Green Arts in the chat when you can hear.
Reporting live from Irish Club, Fight Plus News. I'm John Opp.
What was it like
when the verdict was read?
I feel like it was designed to protect white people, the system, and it was not designed to protect black people.
News coming out of Texas this morning after her son, Karmelo Anthony, will be found guilty for murder after stabbing fellow high school student Austin Metcalf last year at a track meet. Kayla Hayes is now receiving a wave of online attacks following the trial. What would prompt the attacks appeared to be not only the fact of what her son was first accused of, but it would appear to come from what she would say in court following his guilty verdict. TMZ would report that Anthony's mom would end up pleading with the jurors to have some mercy on her son as he was facing up to 99 years in prison. Now, this update would make the rounds, and Metcalf supporters would relentlessly take aim at Anthony's mother, as some would even suggest that the now 19-year-old should have been sentenced to death, and that the now 35-year sentence he would receive wasn't enough. Some of the attacks online look like, mercy, F you. You are the reason your son is a piece of shit and is going to be Bubba's bitch. Did he have mercy when he stabbed Austin? One less criminal in the streets. He deserves a death penalty. While another will go on to say, her son deserves to be dragged behind a truck. All right, so trying to do something different, trying to get the story out to you.
That's crazy.
I'm going to give you a bit more like live commentary wrapped around the report that you were just given. When I think about this particular story, the first thing that I have to notice, and that I think a lot of us do, is the racial divide it has created. You have a lot of people expressing their frustration with it. A lot of people shocked about the verdict. A lot of people want more. As you can see, there's a lot of anger towards the Anthonys. And so those are things that at least I noticed right away. Now, what was interesting was that Austin's father tried to say, hey, it's not about race. He didn't see it that way. It's wrong or right. Maybe, but I think realistically, a lot of people are seeing that, hey, if things would have played out differently, if the roles were different colors, how would this have played out, right? So one thing that I did think was interesting that I noticed was that when I went to the conservative platforms that was covering the trial, they would ultimately be like, hey, if the roles were different, this would have been like this. And their biggest, complaint about everything is that, hey, if Austin was a black kid and if Karmelo was a white kid, then this would have been a huge uproar in terms of marching and protesting and things of that nature. Now, what I thought was interesting is that that's the same scenario, or at least a scenario that black users were seeing or saying, but they saw it differently. They were saying that, hey, if Karmelo was a white kid and if the gentleman Austin Metcalf was black, then this thing would have been totally different. Then that Karmelo would have been able to walk away. He would have been able to claim that self-defense claim. That jury that he would end up having, which happened to be all white, would have been able to empathize with him and not give him a whole 35 years. So it's interesting to see that. And I definitely wanted to make sure that was one of the things highlighted. Now, for people that are like, hey, again, they don't see the race aspect of it, I want to throw these scenarios at you and just see where your mind goes. So one is, what if Austin was white and what if Karmelo was white? What if they both were white? Does that change anything for you? Mentally, how you think this would have played out? Would it have played out the same in your head Now let's do the same thing when we ask, what if they both were black, right? What if Karmelo remained black and what if Austin was black? Do you think the outcome, does it go to a guilty verdict? Does he get the 35 years? Would those things still kind of play out? And I think if anything kind of changes in your mind, then that might be an answer for you that, hey, race does probably have a factor into it. Because if you think about it, at the end of the day, the jury, the judge, they are all people. They are all people with feelings and all people with perspectives and empathy in different ways, and can be able to connect differently to depending on who's in front of them. So I do want to make sure that we don't scare away from that. Now, moving right along.
Okay, I'm gonna do something different because we've been playing on the full, but I'm gonna stop because this is a little bit long and I don't want to miss some of the points that he said because I'm actually taking notes over here. All right, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Why do we, as the highly melanated community, look at Karmelo Anthony and say that happened to us or we or us versus that happened to the Anthony family? Why do we do that? Fit?
I don't know, Kevin.
It's
I think the public got into this, right? We made it about race, so then we put ourselves in that place, and so then we start feeling like, oh, the whole black community is supporting this little black boy that's being railroaded by this injustice system, when all along he brought a knife to attract meat, stabbed somebody after they pushed him. Like, I don't know.
No, I agree. I'm with you. I do think that. Oh, go ahead, Kevin. I'm sorry. What were you about to say, Kevin?
No, I'm just saying, like, in general, the black community typically views anything that negative that happens to a black person, especially from the hands of a white person, is attack against the community. Like, George Floyd didn't happen to George Floyd. It happened to us, right? Emmett Till happened to us. Like, we collectivize the oppression, and anything that is negative that a white person does to a black person is an attack on us, and we rally around it. And so that's why that language is used. Now, when Pookie shoot Ray Ray, that didn't happen to us. That happened to Ray Ray.
Ray Ray.
Yeah, like, man, that's so messed up what happened to Ray Ray. Right.
Right.
But
That's a good point.
let the police shoot Ray Ray. Oh, look what they doing to us. It's just it's stupid. The blacks.
You stupid. Okay. All right. He brought up the whole idea that, switching the races. All right. So, all right, Fit. Oh no, you ain't gonna get away from this one. I saw them eyes roll in the back of your head.
And I'm
all
doing
right.
because Lee asked me these same questions yesterday when we were talking about it. He's like, okay, so what if it's a girl, and what if it's a white girl and a black girl?
We're gonna stick with boys, but what if they were two white boys? What do you think?
I don't think we get here. I don't even.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
It's like hard for me to even see that we're at trial for this, just because I don't think anything is handled this way. I don't think they're trying to kick him out the tent per se, right? Or
okay.
Because they said it was a diverse community, so that race didn't matter for the kids, right? It was just that we went to Centennial and not Memorial. So, okay, let me try. This is hard. So let me say, go to Kevin, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna say,
okay, Kev. if both of them were white, what do you think would happen?
It wouldn't have gone to trial because the white kid's parents would have looked at the facts, and his lawyer would be like, "You need to take a plea, or you need, something worked out."
Yeah.
But it would have been viewed the same. Like, this is why the melanated community struggles with things. It's because we never look at the facts and consider the facts. We just look at the dynamics of race, and we make our judgment based on that. So, for example, people keep trying to compare this to Kyle Rittenhouse. It's like, do you not know the details of that case? Do you not know there was a video of him being chased and him running away, and this guy trying to hit him with a skateboard, and the other guy actually had a gun? But so how is it's like we do not go off the facts. We go off of a white kid got off on self-defense, a black kid went to prison, and they didn't get him self-defense. And we just look at it like that. So in our minds, if it was reversed, regardless of what the facts are, we go off of racial dynamics. And we think racial dynamics determine everything. And it just doesn't. I don't think it'll be any different because the facts of this case is so clear, and there are so many witnesses that were right there. And then you got Karmelo's own admission of I did it. It's too many eyewitnesses, and the facts are so clear that I don't care how you swap it around, it's gonna be the same.
Yeah,
I got you. So
yeah, I definitely think that,
go ahead.
like and that's what I was thinking about, right? I'm like, we're not even here because this is going to be handled differently from the beginning. But let's say we get here. Let's say we get to the trial. I definitely think it would have been easier for the jury to come to manslaughter or possibly even criminally negligent homicide, which would have been 10-year max for time. So I think that would have been it. I've seen people bringing up a case where there was a young guy named Ramirez and something Allen. It was an incident that happened in the same city back in 22, where two boys got to fighting in a restroom at a school, and the guy pulled out a knife during that fight and stabbed the other one, and he died, and he got 10 years on criminally negligent homicide. But that was different because they were mutually fighting, like it was an actual fight.
Right.
We have a fight in this case. We just had a push.
Yeah. And even in that case, because I had to look it up because this is meme going around comparing the two.
Yeah.
I was like, I never heard of this case. So I Googled it. That case is so complex. This was like a long-standing, like week-long thing that had been going around. And the kid that ended up getting stabbed had actually pulled a gun on the other kid like a couple of days earlier. Like this was a violent situation that resulted in him using the knife and killing the other kid, but it was not. The details are so different from this case. People need to stop sharing these memes. Memes do not equal. It's just frustrating.
It's memeology, man. That's why I call it memeology. All right. So I think it's fair to say if they both were black, if they both were white, or if they both were black, I think both of you all would say that we wouldn't have got here. But let's switch. Let's say that it was Austin was black and Karmelo was white. Yeah.
I don't.
What do you think?
And this is why I don't think it would be different. I don't think they would have got the manslaughter either way. And this is why. Regardless of how you switch the races around, the language is still the same. F y'all. Y'all some peas. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing.
Touch me and find out.
See like that is so incriminating to whoever it is. It's so hard to see it going any other way, you know?
I can dig it.
Now maybe you say if it's a white kid, maybe he doesn't use that type of language. You know, maybe he's more like, I can sit here if I want to. You know,
can't make me move.
Yeah, y'all can't
forget y'all.
Yeah, exactly. And so maybe that turns some things, but as long as everything else is the same in this case, the facts are the same, the language is the same. Swapping the skin color is not gonna matter. It's just not.
I got you, and I think that's probably because this one I think is very shut. This one is open and shut. To me, there isn't a lot of nuance, unlike the high school bathroom fight, restroom fight. That one is there's a lot of complexity here. This one is very simple, and I think the defense did a poor job of making it complex because they didn't make it complex.
I wanted the Brian Steele opening. I wanted Karmelo Anthony was born to two parents in this city. You know, he grew up in a house with 3 siblings. Like I wanted to walk away having some emotional ties to him. Like you get to bring the emotion out any way you could so that I feel sorry enough and I can look at this differently. It wasn't there.
Fit, I agree with you on the fact of after the verdict, they should have did more to bring up more people to give statements to his character because you didn't let him take the stand.
Yeah.
So you at least got to bring in other people to say, look, y'all, I understand, but he's not a bad kid. This is a mistake. Like he's always been respectful in my class. Like it's something.
Yeah.
Because all the jury has heard is him cussing out people after he's under their tent and they've asked him to move 15 times. They hear that he, as soon as the coaches kind of, got his arm around him, walking them after, like, son, did you stab someone? I told him not to touch me. Like, that is what he says. So it's like my punishment to the person who touched me was me stabbing, as if I'm justified in doing this. And so then you come up and you hear that he said, touch me and find out. So that's the only thing I'm left with knowing about this kid. These are the words he spoke. He brought a knife in his book bag and he had his hand on the knife prior to him even being touched. And none of the kids saw the knife That was telling. That tells how quick it was. It was nobody even realized that Austin was stabbed until he fell back and lifted his shirt and was like, I think I'm stabbed. Like, it happened so quick.
So let me ask you, and back to the appeals question, can the fact that they didn't call different witnesses, is that an appealable matter? Like what they didn't call his teachers, they didn't call his coach, they didn't call his doctor for his epilepsy. Would that justify appeal, or is that just something you bring up later on?
Okay, so when you file the appeal, you put everything in there. So
everything
all in there, right?
Right.
Is it going to be enough to overturn the verdict? That I don't know. That you have that's not a quick answer. I would need to pull the case law, do the legal
For sure.
research, all of that to see what the answer would be. But yes, when you file an appeal, you put it all in there. In our appeal with Antonio, we put stuff in there that technically we would understand if they came back and said you don't have standing to argue this. We may not. I'm gonna put it in there because maybe if you hear how bad this was, even though I didn't necessarily argue this here, maybe you want to attack this issue once if it's brought to your attention. So you put everything in your appeal.
No, I got you.
Not AI, put everything factually.
Everything right, factual.
A lot of AI out there.
Yeah, don't be doing the AI. Shout out to SC Dog said, catch me outside. White people catch me outside. Black people, let me catch you outside. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's for you, Kevin. That's for you.
Yes.
All right, let's finish this one up. All right, here we go.
There was one lady in particular, as well as a bunch of people outside the courthouse, who would definitely make sure that it was be known that race played a huge factor when it came down to the verdict.
What was it like?
What was it like?
When the verdict was read.
I feel like it was designed to protect white people, the system, and it was not designed to protect black people. It's self-defense.
She feels.
Now, as mentioned, a lot of social media was talking about the whole racial dynamic that comes to the story. There was a user on X that were going to say, they kill our kids or send them to prison. Maybe somebody can help me understand this. A grown man, Rick Chow, chased down a 14-year-old teenager, Cyrus Carmick Belton, and shot him in the back. A teenager got jumped, was defending himself, and now he'll spend years behind bars. We are constantly told to trust the system, but too often the outcomes leave people shaking their heads. If the facts were different, if the names were different, if the races were different, would the outcome be the same? That's not a rhetorical question because we just saw last week a Chinese man get away with murdering a black boy. I'm angry at this verdict. Justice has not been served. Now, some quick facts to throw at you that I thought was interesting. Karmelo did receive a 35-year sentence over this murder charge. Another thing that I thought was interesting was the all-white jury that he would be kind of left with. Again, going back to the racial element, I think we can't overlook that. You know, you empathize with somebody that looks like you a lot of the times. If you ask somebody what city you from and they say they're from your city, you naturally kind of get to a place of comfort. Just to be a little bit more transparent, there was a traffic situation that I had to deal with. And I had my proof and I was like, you know what? I want to go ahead and take it to a bench trial where I can talk directly to the judge and be able to state my case. I felt confident regardless if the judge was going to be white or black. But when I looked at that paper and I read that name and I pretty much felt that, hey, this was going to be a black man judging this, a sense of relief came over me because I was like, man, at least I think he's going to be able to see me as a person, be able to connect with me, be able to empathize with me, be able to understand how the scenario played out. And so I think we all kind of feel that way. There's a comfortability there. You know, if someone has a similar background as you, a similar upbringing, that makes you feel a bit more at ease in knowing that. And so I think we can't ignore, again, the racial component here, given that he had, you know, an all-white jury, was a huge element to that conversation. Now, my other perspective on is that I think the publicity in the long run worked against Karmelo. Yes, I think this was a sentencing about messaging. The DA would even admit this. He would go on to say that this verdict sends a clear message. This, to me, kind of works against Karmelo because it no longer became about like the intricate details, the facts, his rights, the idea of the trial itself and how he could position himself. It became more about like, what are the masses of people that are watching this story, that are following this? What are they gonna walk away with feeling? And I would imagine that they don't want situations like that to occur again, right? They wouldn't want somebody to feel like, hey, if you threaten my space, then you can respond to this way. And for people that want to put a racial component on that, you know, think about that as well. I think a lot of people are feeling that way, that, hey, this became more about the message versus the actual details. And that's something that you have to ask yourself at home in regards of if things would have went differently, if the scenarios had changed, like we were talking about in terms of the racial aspect of it, how much of it. And I do think the other element, if this wasn't so much of a big story, I think things would have worked out a little bit more in Karmelo's favor. And kind of to close it out, you know, we talked about Karmelo's mother getting attacked online and people lashing out against what she's feeling, the mercy that she wanted to have on her son's life. You know, just thinking about it, no one wins, though. No one wins. No one wins. The Metcalfs don't win. The Anthonys don't win. Everyone lost here. Because I think sometimes when we get on social media, we think that like people passing away is just kind of like can be a quick joke or a quick comment. But you got to understand, like, that's permanent. That's final. There's no coming back from that. You know, and that's what one family has to experience. There's no coming back from that. Regardless if he was in the wrong or right, that is what their situation they have to deal with. But then you switch over to the Anthonys, right? How do they now feel, right? What was the circumstances there? What even made him feel inclined to have that on him? Was he being bullied before? Is there a fear that he felt that he needed to protect himself? How did he feel in that moment? You know, and if you're someone that's Black, you understand that there is a tightness at times that you can feel when just navigating as an everyday person. You don't feel completely 100% free sometimes. You feel a little bit tense. You feel a little bit like, I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what's around the corner. And that's the life sentence that a lot of Black people have to live. So I think we have to be able to see both point of views and understand that everyone was robbed here. No one won in this scenario. With that being said, let's talk about them on the comments below. In regards of Karmelo Anthony's mother, people attacking her online, do you think that parents in this scenario should be accountable for a situation like this if it involved their child? Let's talk about it right now. And for more news in comedy, culture, and sports, be sure to subscribe here to our YouTube channel and follow Hype Plus across all social media. And don't forget, you can head over to hypersclub.com to get your membership.
All right, I'm going to drop that right there.
Interviews and
all right. He said a lot.
A lot of wrong, but he said a lot.
He did say a lot of stuff that I vehemently disagree with. This is my only thing. Like, you do realize that Karmelo is the aggressor. Karmelo is the one that committed the crime. Like, no, again, I don't think I saw maybe one or two pictures of the Metcalf mom. I don't even know the Metcalf mom's name.
No,
yeah, like
they're divorced. So the parents of Metcalf, they're divorced, and she's remarried to someone else. But
okay, but I think still the truth still remains. Like, why are we not empathizing with them, married or not?
Because we believe fake facts.
Yeah, this is
wasn't jumped.
Victim.
This is sad.
He wasn't jumped.
It wasn't all white jury.
The facts of the child case all wrong. I always say this: Black people have this false sense of reality, and we think the country is black and white, and we act as if we're 50% of the country. That's how we act, right?
Yeah.
And so when we hear no Black people on the jury, we go, all white jury. As if there's no one else in this country.
Oh, yeah, there's other people. Right.
Yeah. The jury's not all white. There were people of color on the jury. There just wasn't any African Americans on the jury.
Right.
You know, and like I say, and there's a very small African American population in that part of Dallas, the suburbs of Dallas anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
And then this idea of, you know, maybe he was being bullied. How you bullied under another school's tent? Right? If he was at his own school's tent and he had been dealing with being bullied, okay, he's over at another school's tent and refusing to leave. How is that a background of being bullying and why he got to carry a knife? Right. Second of all, this Negro live in Frisco, Texas. This ain't the hood.
Yeah.
This is suburbia. This is as
why are you
white,
against the hood, Kev?
This is as white. Look, I love North Dallas. That's how you know it's nice. Frisco is super nice, man. I went to the
Yeah.
mall. No, I went at the mall. I went to the Cowboys practice facility
Mhm.
because they got like this fake turf, have like 50-yard field. You can watch the game out
Yep.
there. It's super nice. I felt bad in my little minivan I was in. I'm like, I don't have a Range Rover, y'all. Like, it's like it's a different class level up there. And that's where he lived. So no, he did not feel he needed to carry a knife for his own protection. So Jay Witt, you saw the thumbnail that I sent you of what I was gonna publish in my Substack.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yes.
I chose not to publish it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Because I didn't want to
Thank you.
offend anybody unnecessarily.
Oh my gosh.
So
We got
I
perfect
titled
Kev.
my article, Carmelo Anthony and the appeal of street culture, right? Because you look at the pictures he put online, you look at the language he's using, he's clearly wrapped up in a street culture, right? But that's not my original title was going to be way more inflammatory than that. And it was Carmelo Anthony and the desire to be an N-word. Because that is what he's trying to be. That's what he's trying to act like. That's what he's trying to appeal to. And he got the knife on him saying, yo, come touch me and see what happens. Like, you not in the hood. You in Frisco. Why are you acting like that? And that's why and this is what I'll say this is why all the other kids were so shocked. They're not used to violence like that.
They thought he was bluffing.
Yeah, they're not used to escalation. You ain't gonna stab them. You're not gonna shoot. But I'm serious thinking a gun. Like, you ain't got no gun. You ain't gonna shoot nobody. Like, and then he stabs him and the kids go running.
Yeah.
Because they're not used to that violence. Like,
nobody was even filming because they didn't even think it was going to be anything to film. That's how this doesn't happen. This is not first 48 Ville where
first 48.
This was nothing's going to happen. Some people saw the start and turned away because
it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yes,
it wasn't, and he took it. From the evidence, it looked like Carmelo wanted to use that knife. I'm not saying he wanted to kill him, but he wanted to use violence on someone.
And unfortunately, in Texas, murder doesn't require the intent to kill.
Yeah.
It required just the intent to cause serious bodily injury. And what else are you going to do with a knife but cause serious bodily injury? So I got to get ready to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I am.
Thank you, Fit.
Absolutely.
I got to do.
Thank you, Fit.
So, yep. So thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you, Fran. I do want to put this question out. You can send me a text message. Can they flip the script and sue the attorney for malpractice?
No, because you just like it's 2020. You don't see that happening. How come it? Well, you know what though, right? The Creasleys just filed a $25 million lawsuit against their attorney for their federal conviction.
Oh, wow. Really?
Did malpractice. So can you sue? Yes, you can sue anybody for anything. Have I sued before? No. So I don't know really what the issue is in their case. How this would be handled is to take it up on appeal and argue ineffective assistance. Because, I mean, he did put up a defense. We are on the outside judging something we don't know. We don't know what the conversations were. This defense attorney could have said, I don't really see a chance. I think we need to work out a plea. And the family could have said, my baby was acting in self-defense. You better give him to give. Like sometimes we're told that and we're saying, okay, sign this paperwork so I can CYA.
Right.
Going against my advice, and this is what you want to try. But so we know that wasn't the conversation, you know? So
yeah, the minute they brought that activist in, they weren't going to take any kind of plea deal.
But they weren't being told the right thing because they definitely and to hear Lee, I saw your video early, Jay Witt, on that, to see him say that he had been a convicted felon for shaking a baby and he's minister justice. Like, I don't understand how he even gets into this. It's not like it was Ben Crump or somebody like that. Like,
why are you here? Right?
Yeah.
No, I'm right there with you. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all put Fit in the chat. Just type Fit in the chat. Thank you so much, love. You are such.
I always love coming up with you. So thanks for the invite.
Whenever you want to come through, you're always welcome. All right, friend.
Y'all later. Have a good night.
You got to take care, friend. Good night.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was a Fit lawyer up in the building. Y'all go ahead and put Fit in the chat. Let her know we really appreciate it. And by the way, if the mods could just double check, make sure we put her link in the chat. Y'all go by, check out what she's doing, and all that kind of good jazz. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah. All right, Kevin, did that traumatize you, man?
It did. But I want to thank Future for putting my Substack article in the chat with the appropriate title. I appreciate that.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
What did she put in there?
She put my Substack in there, but she said, "Here's Kevin's Substack article with the appropriate title."
Oh my gosh. All right, what is it? With the more appropriate title. Okay, I'm just gonna step away from that one. Future, don't get in trouble, Future. I'm gonna put you in 0-second timeout. All right. So actually, did you know that the Jeff Metcalf has spoken? Austin Metcalf's dad goes scorched earth. And I think this is, since we started out by talking about how they could have like eased over and kind of smoothed over the relationship, I do think that this is the natural progression. Yeah. Austin Metcalf's dad goes scorched earth on Karmelo Anthony, the man's son's killer. Look him in the eye. I don't know what that is right there. Austin Metcalf's dad stared down and scolded despicable Karmelo Anthony when his son's killer refused to look him in the eyes during an emotional victim impact statement. Jeff Metcalf demanded the 19-year-old don't look down after he was found guilty of first-degree murder in the fatal stabbing of the 17-year-old Austin Metcalf earlier Monday afternoon in the Collins County, Texas courthouse. We were robbed, the elder Metcalf cried out as he told Anthony to face him. According to WFAA, don't look down. I can hear the boule having a fit about this.
Yeah,
I can hear him.
I mean, I said the same thing when I heard Karmelo bust out in tears. I get it, man, but this ain't you was hard before. Don't be crying now.
Yeah,
you was hard before. You killed this kid.
Anthony had been hanging his head during the impact statements and refused to look up at the Metcalf family members, who included Austin's father, mother, and twin brother, Hunter. My boys weren't bullies, Metcalf said, referring to the claims made against both Austin and Hunter that they had targeted Anthony for sitting under their school tent at the whatever, I'm not going to do that, in Frisco, Texas. They told me yesterday, they wrote it out phonetically. I don't have the time. My son's death destroyed the person I used to be. He said, he does not exist anymore. People think grief is sadness. It's not. It is rage, pure unfiltered rage, Metcalf said as he slammed his fists against the table, angrily shouting in the outlet reported, "You failed your parents, you failed yourself, and you failed society." Dang, man, he done hurt the boy's feelings now. You don't belong to this community, he told Anthony. A piece of me died with my son, and I'm expecting to keep living. You're going to prison. I forgave you the day it happened. I don't forgive what you did, he added. You can't look me in the eyes, but you can stab my effing son?
Yeah, he's mad. He's angry. That's just anger
I'm
coming
mad,
out.
yeah.
When you put out the olive branch of forgiveness and they basically say F you, there's no more.
Yeah.
It's nothing but anger now.
Yeah, I'm right there. Metcalf had been silenced by a gag order by the court for opposing the decision to place Anthony under house arrest while awaiting trial. He blamed the teen's crazed supporters for swatting him 6 times. The outraged Metcalf briefly mentioned the pro-Karmelo Anthony protesters who had formed outside the courthouse as he shot down the group's claims that the trial was racist against the young black man, the black teen who had committed the stabbing of self-defense. This was never about race, he said. It was about right and wrong, and the public response sickens me. The moral decay is frightening.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not. He's not at all. Oh, actually, there's more. I'm sorry. Metcalf kept his glare directed at Anthony as he walked away from the stand, coming within 2 feet of his son's killer, according to the outlet. Austin Metcalf's mother, Megan, that's my first time hearing it, directed her anger toward Anthony over what she had lost because of the fatal stabbing. We will never know what our future could have been, the heartbroken mother said, fighting through tears. For journalists, activists, and this is a story for our family. It is our reality. Yeah. They cooked them. But again, like, to the point that we started out, imagine if they had just tried to salve this over at the beginning. Well, they probably, I don't know, if they had if the Anthonys had reached out to him, maybe they would have taken a plea deal.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about too, that hood lawyer that said that this was a lynching.
A legal lynching, yep.
Like, you do realize they gave him 35 years and they could have given him 99. Like, the level of awareness of these people.
It is pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's a part of him you can never take from me. The strength I will still get from him every day because I know what it was like to be loved by him. My son was murdered. He didn't just die. He was taken from us just as he was starting to live, Megan said. Megan Metcalf shredded the seemingly reduced sentence handed it to Anthony, who had been facing a maximum of 99 years in jail. You may have just been given a sentence of 35 years. You should feel lucky because I've been sentenced to a life without my son. Dang. They're getting poetic up in here.
Mm-hmm.
The jury deliberated for about 3 hours before delivering the guilty verdict. I remember that guy that said,
"Yep,
they probably did." I'm like, "Yeah," because I would have come in the door like, "What we having for lunch?" He's guilty.
Hey,
what we
I
having for
would
lunch?
have put in the article, the jury deliberated for 3 hours, in quotation marks, including lunch.
Right.
Before, like, they weren't sitting around talking about this thing for 3 hours.
No. The panel deliberated for another 3 hours before returning with the 3.5 decade sentence. I do think they probably did talk about this a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I do think that they probably did talk about that.
I would say that was probably, you have disagreement, is on what the sentence should be. Yeah.
During the sentence phase, the jury weighed the potential extenuating circumstances of sudden passion, crimes committed in the heat of the moment that the Texas can mean lighter sentences. Hunter, who was born 2 minutes after Austin, shared his emotional statement to the court. You took a son, a brother, a friend, and my best friend from this world. You took someone from me who was supposed to be an uncle, godfather to my kids. Now I want everything taken from you, Hunter choked out. After the hearing, Anthony's mother, Kayla, and his brother blasted the killer's conviction and sentence as racist and
Oh, no, they didn't.
And cheering supporters who chanted "Free Karmelo."
No. Okay. No, I'm done. No more. I don't have any empathy. None. I'm mad he only got 35.
They blast. I didn't know that part. Oh, I wish we could have heard that.
That
so
woman.
They said that it was racist.
Oh. I'm done. No. Everything that I want to defend the attorneys now. They were dealing with a bunch of idiots. That mom's an idiot. She sold her son out for some money and she sent him to prison. Yeah. No, I'm done.
Yeah, that's crazy work. I did not know that. Wow.
She is right out there. She's on the same level as those people outside saying stupid stuff. That's her.
Man. All right. Well, Kev, that was fun, man.
Yeah, it was, man. It was.
I appreciate you tapping in, man.
Absolutely.
Are you gonna be boycotting Asian beauty supply stores and restaurants?
Man, I'm gonna get my do-rags if I don't go to the Asian place.
That's a good point. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question, man. That's a sincere question. Kevin, you crazy, bro.
No, man. Think about it, though. Think about it. I mean, like, what is wrong with us? An Asian man gets acquitted by a jury that is half black in South Carolina. And our response is to target other Asian people and boycott them, like they had something to do with that. I try to be nice and not say things, but the blacks,
bro, the blacks.
It just don't make no sense.
I don't.
We are the least productive people. Like the things we come up with and put our energy behind. It's like, what are we doing? The boycott of Target over DEI policies, like
that don't benefit us primarily.
It just makes no sense.
And now they're boycotting. Now they're boycotting beauty supplies and restaurants and such a nature, Asian restaurants. I'm like, why do you only see yourselves as consumers? Why is that your go-to de facto preset? Is we're consumers?
Yeah, it is. I don't think it's just that we're consumers. It's just that we don't know how to be anything but activists. That is the playbook for everything.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Like, how about y'all go and build some 2-parent homes? How about you go?
How about that? How about we do that? Like, why is our de facto? Aren't they boycotting white businesses since? No, now they're boycotting. I almost want to pull this in. It was not intended. Pink Book was talking about the. You want to do it?
What? I don't know what it is.
So they're boycotting because of the South Carolina case.
Yes.
Okay. You want to watch it? Yeah, I haven't watched it. It just popped up. I just saw it. So this is a hot off the press team. This is hot off the press. All right. Shout out to Pink Book Lessons. This one is not in the description. So if the mods could put it in the chat, that'd be great. I'll try to put it in the pinned comment afterwards. Shout out to Pink Book. Let's go.
Look at this. On a major road again. Look at this. In a black neighborhood. Stop stalking our neighborhoods. Boycott Asian businesses. Let's make this a black-owned business, guys.
I worked for those Asian businesses you guys are boycotting, and I say go do it. Not even getting into how I was fired over not being suitable for a receptionist job, even though I have community organizing underneath my belt. The person who trained me said that mixed people and light skins have a different culture altogether from darker black people. And when I said, how do you figure that? She said, well, they just act different. They act different. I was like, no, they don't. I was like, I think I would know. I am biracial. I think I would know. And she tried to keep it going, and I put my head down and I ignored her. I also heard them complain about black customers being difficult after they had to deal with 10 Karens in a row. You guys might want to boycott.
I love when the black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do.
That man right there went viral, daring black people to boycott their businesses. He was talking real greasy too. So I decided no nail salon for me. Nope, not doing it. And all I want to know is, are y'all serious this time? Yeah, because we've been here so many times and black women are always the one running to their salons and their beauty supply stores, messing up the whole thing. So I'm really talking to black women right now because let's be honest, the beauty industry probably has the biggest hold on our group. That's why I'm directing this question specifically to black women. Are we serious this time or not? Let me know in the comments. And
what are you boycotting for though? I love Pink. I love Pink Book Lessons. But this one here, what are you boycotting for? What is the reason? Because
nothing. Feeling.
That's the thing. And I've said this multiple times, Kevin. We spend so much time talking about what we're not going to do and not any time talking about what we are going to do. That woman was walking around that parking lot turning, let's turn this into a black business. But ma'am, you just gonna roll up in there? You're gonna take the Asian people out and you're gonna just put what you gonna put in there? And do they have the infrastructure to stay open? Do they have the means by which and the business acumen to be able to stay open in this area? That's just crazy work, man. It is so nose blind. But go ahead.
No, it is, man. And I don't know. It's just sad how we think. It's sad that where's the point of any of this? These people didn't do anything.
Right.
Whoever owns that hair store didn't shoot and kill anybody, and they weren't on the jury. that jury was half black, and they was like not guilty based on the evidence. And we go, no more chicken fried rice. Like
Chicken fried rice is crazy.
It doesn't make no sense. But
man, let's go.
Y'all say this. This is why boycotts don't work, because they're going to boycott Asian businesses, right? For however long it is. But then you're gonna end up returning and buying all the hair that you needed in the first place.
Right. Or I'm gonna go buy it and I'm just gonna sell out the trunk of my car. I'm gonna go over to Hunan's Weave Palace, buy it all, and then just sell it out of the trunk as Jason's ethnic shea butter, whatever. I mean, nobody's fooled by this. Let's finish this up because Carmelo Anthony's family did an IG live. We got to get going. We got to get going.
Oh man. Okay.
You want to jump and watch it?
Yeah. That's way more important than this.
Okay, let's go. I have no idea. Shout out to Fit. Fit just literally sent this to me. Wow. Let's go see what they talk about. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Let's go.
Received a fair trial?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And we're going to keep fighting. We will not stop fighting for justice for my son.
And as parents, have you all struggled with guilt, asking yourselves, is there anything differently? I know, Kayla, you said you wish you had gone to that track meet. Is there anything that you both wish you could have done differently?
I wish I would have just been rebellious. I was told, don't talk to this person. Don't talk to this person. I feel like it was just a setup. Now, so they told us, go get white attorneys. Every black person I went to a white attorney. No white attorney, they set them up, pushed them. Hey, here you go. I mean, no objections. It was things smooth. So because as a father of me being who I am, I got to make sure she's straight. This mama bear. I got to make sure she's straight mentally, because if she's not straight, my house ain't straight. I'm not straight. Then so because I got the kids to worry about. Got to make sure his mental health. I can't go back and forth with him right in there because his mental can handle it. The misunderstanding of what dad is trying to take. This ain't a daddy moment.
So do you believe your son received a fair?
What?
I'm sorry. There was a lot of editing in that. Shout out to the Shade Room. I need to hear that full thing in context because that didn't make any sense.
It did.
I'm sorry. Like, whoa. Here, let me drop the link in the chat. Y'all can check it out. And if you run across the full text, definitely, send it back to me or whatever. We'll watch it tomorrow. But the fair trial argument is crazy work. Like, how are you arguing that your child didn't have a fair trial? Did y'all not work with them? And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to do this. But, there's a lot of people discussing that mom got a nose job since Karmelo has been in trial. If you go back and look at the picture of her and them on the football field, that's a different nose. That's a nose like mine. If you look at this nose right here, that's not the same nose. I can tell you that because I got a broad, wide nose. That's not what that is right there. That's not it. That nose has been messed with. And so I'm not trying to be mean, but ma'am, did y'all really try to help your son? I want to know, what did you do from the moment you heard that he had been arrested until today? What did y'all do to help him?
I can't. There's no accountability with these people. There's no remorse. There's no, I wish Karmelo would have made a different decision,
Yeah, because I don't know what dad was talking about. I don't know what dad was saying. Gotta make sure your mental's on point. Like, sir,
like his
stop it.
And you can't be going back and forth. That was the problem in the first place.
Yeah.
I need somebody to explain to me why.
Whoa. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It was Umar. Umar talking about, oh, Lord. Oh, gosh. Umar done popped up in the chat, y'all. All Umar here. I'm trying to see if I can find a longer version of this conversation with the mom and the dad. I'm listening to you, though.
Yeah. And so there's just no remorse from these people. There's no accountability. In their minds, they are the victims. And this is crazy given all the testimony that's been given, all the eyewitnesses. There was zero justification for Karmelo's actions. Zero.
Absolutely.
And they won't admit that. They won't. I get it, before the trial, you don't say that. But now the trial is over, you can just say, we wish Karmelo would have made a different decision. Our hearts go out to the Metcalf family. You know, something. But the defiance of these people, I'm like, nah. Now, like I said, now I'm upset he only got 35 years.
He said he's upset that he only got.
No,
I'm right there
like,
with
you know what, man? He was set. Okay, yeah, I get it. 35 is good. But now hearing the parents, I'm like, okay, nah, he should have got 60. You know?
60. Kev
I
throwing you
just
under
don't
the
have
bus.
there's no
Kev
love.
said, I got nothing for you now.
No, I
nothing
ain't got
for
nothing
you.
for you after this.
Wow. All right. If I find that full clip, though, I will share. I want to find it. I want to see the full interview because it doesn't make sense to me. I want to make sure I'm understanding what these people are saying. Like, y'all are saying that y'all are the victims. Like, how is that even? That's going to have to be studied by science, bro. That these people can honestly be the perpetrator of the crime and with a straight face.
Yeah.
Look at you and say, I am the victim. That's crazy work, man.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to be addressing my son like, son, like, think about the testimony and, you know, and cursing everybody out and all of this stuff. Like, what were you thinking? Like, I don't know. It's like there's just zero accountability. Zero.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. Now, I'm going to, you know what, since we're looking at accountability, I do have 2 other videos. They just need to repent, right? They just need to repent. I agree with you. Like, just go ahead and repent. But, I mean, it's got to happen. So, the other day we were looking at this young lady. I found her channel. A lot of people liked her commentary about it. And I found her channel, and she had 2 most recent posts about Karmelo Anthony, and I thought they were good. So I said I would bring it in real quick. I'm trying to stall.
Is it the one, the black lady you played yesterday?
Yes.
Yes. Kimberly Blake.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
Really?
Because I couldn't think of her name yesterday. I was like, we're Facebook friends. I should know. And so I looked it up today. If it's the same one from yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Kimberly Blake.
So I
is her
just
name.
saw a video of Karmelo Anthony's grandmother outside of the courtroom yelling and cussing like a common sailor. I mean, this is just disgusting. These people have no decorum whatsoever. These people are mourning the loss of their son, and no compassion was given to them. These people care about nothing but themselves. Now I see why his mother is the way that she is, because her mother is the way she is. When you look at a child that is like that, you don't have to look no further than their bloodline. Don't look no further than that. And all of this came from the teenage pregnancy epidemic of the 90s, because what happened was these young girls were having kids that they were not equipped to raise. They had no wisdom. The grandmothers are gone. Grandmothers are gone along the wayside. It used to be a time that a grandmother had gray hair. She had some wisdom. She told the kids the way they should do, that she taught them respect and everything else. Now you got the grandmothers that are trying to compete with the mothers. They're the same. So this boy doesn't even know any better because he was not raised right. He was not raised right. And I say that because I'm looking at his grandmother, her foul mouth. What kind of person is this? You're outside riling up the crowd when you know that this case had nothing at all to do with race. Nothing to do with race. This boy had a knife and he wanted to use it. When he got off that bus as an alternate for this track meet, for this final track meet, he was supposed to go and get dressed in under his own tent. He had a knife that he wanted to use. I think he would have used it if it was a black boy, Hispanic boy, whoever would have gotten in his face. And that's why he was trying to start a fight, because he wanted someone to get in his face. He thought he would be justified. He did not think he was going to lose 35 years of his life because he's 17 years old and he was a fool. And he's still a fool now today, because what he should have did was apologize. Hey, I did this. I don't want to put these people through no more anguish, no more harm. But that is not what happened, because these people only cared about themselves. They allowed their son to take the fall so that they could have a payday. They saw opportunity and they took it. As soon as this thing was announced and it went viral and everywhere, they had no problem with taking money for this, for his defense, knowing that they were not going to try to get the best lawyer, because it would not make any sense, because he did the thing. He murdered somebody. This was not an accident. This was not an accident. He was looking to do it. One of the boys said that his vein was prominent. He had his hand in the bag the whole time. He was looking for someone to stab. And that's what he did. And it was unfortunate that Austin was there at the time, and he's the one that he chose for this thing. We need parents to be parents again. This is a problem. There used to be a time where a teacher, if a teacher even threatened to call home, everybody shut up. But now if a teacher calls home, they are liable to be cussed out because of parents like this. Parents like this, this is what the hood is full of. The hood is full of this hood culture. This is why they're in my comments mad at me, because they feel like because of the melanin in my skin that I should have the same mindset as them, without realizing that I am born again. I am a new creation in Christ. Old things have passed away, and behold, all things have become new. I am new in him. I am not the same person I used to be. I thank God for that. I thank God that I was able to get out of the hood. I thank God that I am not the person that I once used to be. I can see clearly. I know right from wrong. But these people that are out there, if you just look at some of the video, none of these people have any sense. These are the dregs of society. These are the people that are walking in, stealing stuff, thinking they're entitled to reparations, when nobody alive today owned slaves or was a slave. Period. But they think that they're old because they've been told they are old. And that's what people want. Overall, they're lazy. And what they want is someone to take care of them and to furnish their lifestyle. And that's what we got, a whole generation of entitled people that may have had children too young and do not know how to raise them and do not know God. And do not have a moral compass. That's what we're dealing with, unfortunately. I feel sorry for that boy. He sat there to be sentenced, to hear the witness impact statements or the victim impact statements. He sat there by himself because his family once again failed him. Left the courtroom thinking about themselves. It's all selfishness, all of it, root in selfishness. And I guarantee you within a couple years, they're going to stop visiting him. After all appeal is exhausted and he has to do those years, that stint he's got to do by himself because he did the crime. They're going to stop visiting him. They're not going to give him money. They're not going to put money in his books. All they care about is themselves. And it's evident by the fact that they allowed this to happen. They allowed this to go to trial. They accepted that money and they went and enriched their own lives without a second thought about their son's future. It's really disgusting.
Wow.
They're gonna throw a t-shirt party when they get home. Now you had them t-shirt with the person face on it.
Boy, I can't stand you, Kevin.
They're gonna have one of them t-shirt parties.
I can't stand you, bro. Okay, so I think this is the video about the grandma. So I do want to watch this. We're going to get out of here. By the way, Fit Lawyer is doing a show at 9:00. So in 19 minutes, I do want y'all to go over there. If the mods could please double check, make sure we got Fit Lawyer ATL's link in the chat. We'd love for y'all to go over there. And of course, Greenheart, her chat, let her know we support her and that we appreciate her coming over here to support the Jay Witt podcast. All right, let's see if this is, I'm assuming this is grandma. It said it was grandma. So let's see what we got.
My Baton Rouge people, man, who love Karmelo. My Baton Rouge people. My Baton Rouge people. Hey. Free Karmelo! Free Karmelo! Free Karmelo! Free Karmelo! Love you, mama. Love you, mama. Love you, mama. Y'all got the last say so. Y'all got the last say so. Y'all let Karmelo know we love him. They sit and sit stand. One person is in a black story. That's it.
They send a miss. Yeah. It ain't the end of the road. This is racist. Buy it. Yeah. Keep your head up. We got your back. That's the family. I gotta put y'all from my city. Hey, hold on. I got you. My Baton Rouge people, man. You love Karmelo. My Baton Rouge people. My Baton Rouge people. Hey. Free Karmelo! Free Karmelo! Free Karmelo! Free Karmelo! Love you, mama. Love you, mama. Y'all got the last say so. Y'all got the last say so. My Baton Rouge people, man.
All right.
Okay, look, he's just repeating it.
Yeah, it started off. Yeah, it's on
right, just like it's repeating.
Yeah, it's on a loop.
Kev, do you ever do the little heart thing, Kev? You did a little heart thing, Kev? Like
No.
What
Only to my
are we
wife.
doing? Okay.
This
You don't
is
love the random grandma, the guy that killed.
This is okay. This is what I've been saying the last couple of days. Just continuing to see things like this, seeing people completely make up stuff or believe things that aren't true. Like the one person's like, he got jumped, and like no matter what the facts are, we still believe a different narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I can say is that these black people are broken. They're broken.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, they are out there passionately. They believe what they're saying. And it's one of those, it doesn't matter what the facts are presented to them. It could have been video evidence showing exactly what happened. And they would still be out there saying, like that one lady said, even if, evidence is given that he's guilty, she's going to stand by him because, quote unquote, they stand by theirs and we're going to stand by
our
ours.
own. Yeah.
Like, y'all, these people are broken. They are broken mentally, emotionally, and most importantly, spiritually.
Yes.
They're broken. And there's no amount of reason or logic that's going to get through to these people. These people just need to be spiritually healed. They need prayer. They need, the word was used earlier was repentance. Like, black people just need to repent for this foolishness. That's all I got to say.
No, I'm right there with you. It is as we've talked about, it's like an ethnic idolatry. Well, because Kevin's black, I rock with Kevin. Like that guy kept saying, I mess with you, I fool with you. Why? Because he's black. That's it. That's the only reason. So, yeah, there's some ethnic idolatry in 4K going on there, but
unless you're conservative.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
All right.
All of a sudden, it ain't skin color.
No. Now it's ideology. It's how you vote. Yep. All that kind of stuff like that. Kevin, get out of here, man.
All right, man.
We're cruising on 2 hours. Kev, thank you so much for following through, man. This is always fun. Y'all put Kev in the chat. Let Kev know we appreciate him. Brother, thank you so much, man. If you ever got some more ideas, or you find some more craziness, you find a full interview of of Karmelo's parents, send it on over here, man.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All the good people. Hey, Kev, be good, man. Take care, friend. Go. All right. Grace and peace to Kev, y'all. Thank you so much to the best live chat on the internet. I'm looking feverishly to see if I can find that full interview. I can't find it. But if you find the full interview of Karmelo's mom and dad, that unedited, I don't want that shade room stuff. I want the real interview so we can hear what they're talking about, because it just didn't make any sense what I heard. So there we go. If you find it, send it to me. jwitt@jwitt.com. Thank you so much, everybody, for rocking with us. Y'all, thank you again for hanging out. And muted. I'm muted again. How did that work? All right. I dropped the link right there, email management. If you find the Karmelo interview, mom and dad interview, I don't know what happened. I pushed a button. I was trying to put my email in there. Maybe I hit the M for mute. Maybe I did. I don't know. Am I still muted? I hope not. Let me check real quick. I will be tapping back in. Tomorrow is Thankful Thursday. I planned to do body cam tomorrow. Now, hopefully nothing crazy will be popping off, and we'll just do body cam tomorrow for Thankful Thursday, or we'll save it for Friday Night Lights. I will be taking Chief Executive Second Born to camp this weekend. So might be doing some video drops, but I might not. It depends. Got to make sure I get her to camp okay for that. So thank y'all so much for that. Update, mom is doing well. She's back home. Thank y'all so much for praying for her. And no, her shoulder did not rust when she was outside in the rain yesterday. But she's doing good. We're going to actually take her van back to her tomorrow. She can't drive yet, but at least we'll take it to her. So it'll be there at the house. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate y'all. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much to Kevin for following through. Thank you so much to Fit Lawyer ATL for popping in as well. If y'all could, please make sure you go by and check her out. Let her know that we really appreciate her because she does such a great job. She does such a great job, man. I really do want to say thank you so much for Fit because she makes this really good and gives us some good information, which helps out a whole lot. I really do appreciate that. Everybody, do me a favor, if you don't mind. If you haven't already, hit the like button on the way out the door. Make sure you tip your waiters, all that kind of good jazz. We're going to do this again real soon, Lord willing. So if you could, green hearts on the way out the door, everybody. Have a fantastic, blessed night. I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.